We are here with our big Game of the Year episode. We're so festive.
It's gaming's biggest night. We're recording this in the morning. We are dressed to the nines, as they say.
We are.
The one day a year I put on this great suit. The one day a year I put on a tie.
Many tried to tie
As I
this
told you,
tie.
I am not doing a lot of testifying before Congress. The tie stays in the closet most of the days.
Right.
But we're here to celebrate an incredible, you could argue, one of the best years ever for gaming. Yes. I am so hyped to get into our 20 plus categories and choose some winners.
Yeah, we had so much fun this year. We had so many great categories that we came up with. Of course, we asked the Kit and Krysta community to vote. We had so many votes from all the people that's part
Literally
of our
hundreds
Patreon.
of votes.
Yeah,
yes.
Part of our Patreon community to share what they thought the best in each of these categories are. We're going to reveal our personal winners, and then we're also going to be doing a top 10 list of the top 10 games that we played this year at the very end. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a packed show. Settle down, get your tea or whatever, and let's do this.
Let's go.
Yeah. Before we get started, everything that we do on this channel is made possible by our wonderful Patreon community. Thank you so much for continuing to support us. Can't believe that we ended this year on such a crazy high note with our community. It's just been wonderful to spend so much time with all of you. So thank you.
Yeah, when we say we are a community-driven channel, like this is what we mean. This, the official Kit and Krysta winners are the community winners. We'll be sharing our picks, but for what gets put out there, what gets the giant trophy that we're going to be mailing out to all of these great winners. Is what our community
You guys picked it.
So
exactly.
That's what we mean. It's all about you guys.
Yes, and of course, if you'd like to join us, we are patreon.com/Kit and Krysta. Lots of other benefits too. We got bonus Q&As. You have early access to this podcast and lots of other content we do on our channel. Access to our wonderful Discord where a lot of this Game of the Year
It's going down.
That is going down. Yes, it has been really fun to just be chatting all the time with our wonderful community about as they reflect on their a year of gaming this year. And it's been really great.
Speaking of awards and maybe lesser awards, we do have a great vlog up on our channel about our trip to the Game Awards.
Yes.
Which was delightful. I rewatched it this morning.
You did?
I did. I love this one.
Nice.
There's a lot in this one because it's us going to the Game Awards, us meeting up with Reggie. Mm-hmm. We have a great extended conversation with our friend Janet Garcia.
Yes,
we went to the Day of the Devs. We went to the Day of the Devs, saw all these great games, so many great cameos. So it's packed.
Super packed. We had such a great time. This trip was a little bit different than what we expected, but overall, I think it was one of our best trips to the TGAs. We had just a great time. Hanging out with our friends, of course, meeting up with Reggie is always a delight. And I think one of my favorite things is the Day of the Devs event, which is our first time going to the TGA version of this. And we just saw so many awesome games, and it was perfect to have that be sort of right after the Game Awards. So
Day of the Devs, the day after the Game Awards is a really nice kind of 1-2 thing to do because you get kind of pent up watching the Game Awards, games, I'd love to play a game.
Yeah.
And then the next day you can go and see these great games and feel excited and kind of put that energy into something. And we got to meet so many developers and see so many cool games.
Totally.
And we have a couple of those. We played a game where the controller is a roll of toilet paper that you stuff a Joy-Con in.
We literally beeline to that game immediately because who could resist a roll of toilet paper as a controller?
See, what I realized though is, in between demos, people will wipe down the controller with a Clorox wipe, and this one you just rip off a roll.
Oh, you just keep
one cycle of the paper.
Yeah.
Right, and then you're just all right, here's you're clean, you're good to go.
It was a really nice roll of toilet paper too. It wasn't the cheapy one.
We were the first ones there.
It was the Charmin. It was the plush.
Oh, this was no single ply.
It was not single ply. It was very plush and delightful to hold in my hands. So
great
way
review.
To go.
Great
way
review
to
of
go.
toilet paper. You might have a career in this if this doesn't work out
Charmin,
for you.
Please sponsor us.
Reviewing toilet paper.
Yes, it was great. We had so much fun. Yeah.
All right, we are mere moments away from getting into the awards, but first we have to shout out our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by HelloFresh. Thank you. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. skip trips to the grocery store, and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit.
Oh my gosh, we are mere weeks away from big holiday celebrations.
I think it's exactly 2 weeks as we record this today.
And some of these celebrations and all your get-togethers might already be starting, and HelloFresh is such a great way to help you, whether it's to make a stress-free meal, you know, while you're preparing for your bigger holiday dinners, or you can even use HelloFresh and make a meal for people that are coming over, especially if they come over without telling you, which happened to me this weekend. Why are you here?
Yes.
I love you, but why are you here? But I had a HelloFresh.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you. I'm ready to go in my fridge. All the pre-portioned ingredients were there. I made a delicious meal in just minutes, and everyone was happy. It was great.
Now, I tried out something new at Thanksgiving that I'm going to take a step further for Christmas, which was I'm going to make half the stuff, but about the other half, I'm going to get brought in. And this also includes little snacks and little appetizers beforehand.
Yeah.
So you can get stuff like a charcuterie board
I love a charcuterie
from
board.
HelloFresh.
Yes.
Have that ready to go and devote your time to other things. So it's all about being efficient and making the most of the holidays here.
And they're beautiful. Some of the charcuterie
course.
platters and dessert platters are absolutely beautiful and totally worthy of your festive holiday dinner table.
That's right.
So yes, make it easy on yourself and get one of these.
We are ready. So go to HelloFresh.com/KitKrystaFree and use code KitKrystaFree for free breakfast for life. 1 breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/KitKrystaFree with code KitKrystaFree. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
And I will put the link right over here and also in the description below.
All right.
All right, are we diving into this?
Let's go.
I'm so excited.
So just real quick, our methodology.
Oh, the methodology.
People would like to know
I see.
how these awards were chosen. So as we mentioned, the voters were all of our Patreon subscribers.
Yes.
Most of these categories, we have 6 nominees. We'll take you through every one of the nominees, and people could choose 1 vote per category.
Yes.
There are a couple categories where we have, I think Game of the Year has 8, and I think there was 1 kind of more fun category where we had like 10.
Okay.
But for the most part, they're going to be 6.
Yeah.
And like I said, we got literally hundreds of votes. So thank you to
nearly
everybody
300 votes,
who
which
voted.
was incredible. Thank you guys so much for being part of this. It was so much fun.
Yes.
And we have some, serious categories, but also some like kind of zany ones too, just to make it fun. And this is video games, guys. We gotta keep it light and fun.
Wrap it up.
Oh, play the music.
Too much talking. Play the music.
Wrap it up. Let's go.
Timothée Chalamet's coming out.
Oh no! I better make way. Well, let's get going with our first category, shall we?
Yes, our first category is Best Graphics. And you can interpret this however you want. Best technical graphics, best art, whatever it is. This is Best Graphics. Our 6 nominees are Spider-Man 2, Dordogne, Hi-Fi Rush, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Alan Wake 2, and Final Fantasy 16.
And the winner is?
Heavy hitters. So to build a bit of suspense. Last night when I checked the poll as we were in the final hour of this closing down, the top 2 vote recipients were separated by 1 vote. Which that is some drama that you cannot manufacture that drama. The top 2 were Spider-Man 2 and Alan Wake 2.
Wow.
Yes. And
amazing.
The winner is Spider-Man 2.
Oh, by a mere
getting
few votes, right?
26%. Alan Wake got 24%. There was some separation in the final hour.
Oh, somebody was like,
somebody knew. But this one was really tight. Final Fantasy got 19% and Zelda got 18%.
Wow.
Having not played Alan Wake 2, I was a little surprised to see it representing in this category, but maybe I'm just completely wrong.
The graphics in this game is unreal.
Wow.
It's not just the graphics, it's really the atmosphere that the graphics create. And they do such a wonderful job of making it just very, very special. And it's not all just like we're in the dark. There's a lot of stuff that happens sort of at dawn or at twilight, and the lighting and just sort of this vibe that is captured with this game is really wonderful. So I can see why the votes were so close. But of course, Spider-Man 2 is a beautiful game, and obviously seeing, New York City like in this way is amazing. So yeah, I could see that.
People are feeling all kinds of ways about Spider-Man 2 not getting an award at the Game Awards. That top tier.
Ouch.
The first Kit and Krysta award goes right to Spider-Man 2. Yeah, when this game was first announced, I was like, all right, it looks kind of like the last one. I'm sure it'll be a little bit better. But like once you start playing, it's like, oh wow, this is like
Next
super
level,
clean, super detailed, like staring at the details of the costumes and like the fabric of the costumes. And the city just feels so alive. They pack so many more details in there. I think this is a very deserving winner.
Yeah, the costumes were just wonderful to look at, like the textures and the reflections in the costume. We were both just like ogling them the whole game, so I can see it.
Would you like to share your personal pick here?
I would. My personal pick is actually Dordogne.
It's mine as well.
Is it?
Wow.
Okay. I think we both were really just like blown away by this amazing sort of watercolor inspired art style. And it was that first moment of playing that game that really like just gave me that crazy wow moment where it was a lot of like stuff happening with rain.
Right.
And I was just like, I don't know how they're doing this. Like, how are you making this sort of rain effect and it like it sort of bleeds the colors as it would a real watercolor painting? It was absolutely incredible. And I just was just so impressed. And really, this is such a creative use of graphics. So I had to give it to Dordogne.
These days, I do find myself gravitating more to the artistic side of graphics versus like the technical. Like we're pushing some pixels. We're melting up the GPU here.
Yeah.
So Dordogne is absolutely that. It's really beautiful, both in still form if you're taking screenshots or if you're just watching it in motion. It is something unlike a game that I have ever seen before. So
exactly.
That's another great winner. And, ironically, in our vote, it got last place.
It's probably a game that's
not
smaller.
Not a lot of people had played it.
But if you haven't played Dordogne yet, you have to. It's a wonderful game.
This is another one where don't call it an indie because I think there is some other backers with that game. These are all just games.
Dordogne is just a great game that you should play.
We have no indie categories.
We don't have an indie category. No. We don't have an indie. They're all great games. Please enjoy.
The only requirement is to be great.
Yes, exactly. To be a game that you like.
All right.
I have a comment from the Keggers.
Lovely.
The Kegger says, "Oh man, Kit and Krysta, I love you guys. We love you too. But Super Mario Brothers Wonder not getting a nomination for graphics is criminal." Sorry.
We're going to jail? Oh no.
The game is
going to jail dressed like this?
Take us
Turn myself in. This mugshot's going to be epic.
Turn to the left,
it's going to look like the Riddler or something.
The animations are wonderful. The game looks like art. Maybe it isn't the most intense graphical showcase of the year, but it certainly deserves recognition. I agree. I think that Super Mario Wonder looks beautiful. It's very colorful and vibrant.
Yeah.
Definitely beautiful graphics in that game as well.
That's maybe the seventh nominee.
Yeah.
Just missed the cut.
Missed the cut, yes.
Okay. Our next category is Best Narrative.
Ooh.
And there were some great options here this year. And the nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Venba, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Sea of Stars.
Oh boy.
And this was another one that was pretty close, not quite as close, but the top three all got over 20%. The winner was The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
Really?
Believe it or not. And then, again, second and third place were right next to each other. Baldur's Gate at 23% and then Alan Wake 2 at 22%. You seem surprised at this.
I am a little surprised. I do think that compared to Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom did have a better narrative. But, we talk about this all the time. Like, Zelda games, while I think the Zelda fans, and myself included, would like it to be a narrative-driven game, it's actually a gameplay-driven game.
Right.
So when you think about, like, what is a strong narrative, I don't particularly pick Zelda for that, but it's cool that the community did. I do think that this one is probably one of the better Zelda stories.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
I like that it's not, hammering you over the head with narrative. There's, I think, just enough. And those memories, again, whether you're doing them in order or not, is kind of a controversial topic. But it is kind of a take it at your pace kind of story. Like when I started with those memories, I'm like, I'm just doing all these because I want to see this.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know different people have a lot of different approaches there. So, this was not my pick, but I can understand why it did stand out.
Yeah, yeah. I had some issues with not being able to do the memories in order. Like there was some clunkiness there that wasn't my personal favorite.
I am very excited to hear what you picked because I think between Alan Wake and Sea of Stars, this maybe was a tough choice for you.
This was a really tough choice for me. I was really just kind of waffling between the two, but at the end of the day, I picked Alan Wake because that was just the most wonderful narrative-driven game. This game is built on the narrative. So I was just blown away by that. I just absolutely loved the twists and turns of the story. All of that was just incredible, and I was really freaked out the whole time. But I couldn't stop playing. I was just so sucked into it. So Alan Wake 2 is definitely my pick for.
I should say it now in case people wonder where's Alan Wake on Kit's list. I didn't play the game.
You didn't.
Not because I wasn't interested, but because I'm scared.
You're a chicken.
I'm frightened.
Yes, the game is quite scary.
I'm kind of asking myself, how can I, over the break, find a way to get through this game and experience it? And I don't know. I probably need to find a way.
Well, I'm telling you, the first sort of 70% of the game is okay. It's the last 30% that's going to really, I think, be challenging for you. And you don't like jump scares.
I really don't like jump scares.
And this one does have some pretty intense jump scares that might get you. So good luck. I hope that you do check this game out because it is absolutely incredible and just I loved it.
Okay.
But yeah, good luck to you.
My pick here, I really wanted to give this to Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 has a great story.
It does.
That is worthy, I think, of some great Spider-Man comic book storylines, some of the best Marvel movies. Really impressed me with the storytelling because that was not necessarily what I thought I was going into when I started this game. My pick is, of course, Baldur's Gate 3.
I thought you were going to pick that one.
Which is, you could also say this is most narrative because you could tell that there is no one story to this game.
Right.
It kind of adapts to how you play the game. And, I have very fond memories of my telling of the story aside from it crashing in the ending.
Yeah. And the characters you lost along the
these
way,
are
all of that matters.
But, aside from that, I do think just the base story is very interesting. It has a great theme of life persevering that I will continue to talk about in some different categories. And, all of those main characters that you meet up with along the way, like Astarion and Shadowheart and everybody else, they have such well-developed backstories.
They really do.
These are fully three-dimensional characters in ways that you don't always find in a game, and it makes it so interesting to get to know them and can really impact how you interact with them because you might want to, you might want to be friends with them, or you might really be put off by them and be get away from me.
And some characters they grow on you too, which is just an amazing feat to accomplish in a video game. It makes the characters feel so real. I felt like I was friends with all of them.
Yeah.
And it's like when you meet somebody for the first time and they leave you with a bad first impression.
Yeah.
And then you get to know them and know them and know them, and then you end up really, really liking them, or they become very endearing to you. They accomplished that in this game, which is incredible. Yeah, I definitely see that as well.
So yeah, best narrative. This was stacked this year.
I
know.
My gosh. This has some Sea of Stars too. Just a shout out to Sea of Stars being my second because God, that story was so amazing. I cried. So whenever you cry, it leaves an impression.
Yeah. All right. Our next category is. Do we have any comments on that? No. Is best cozy game. And cozy games
I do like a cozy game.
Warm you up in the wintertime. We have 6 good ones here. The nominees are Fashion Dreamer, Venba, Fae Farm, Blanc, Coffee Talk, Episode 2, and Mineko's Night Market.
Yes. All great games. All very cozy.
Almost everything here got at least 10% of the vote.
Wow.
But the winner, pretty overwhelmingly, getting a third exactly of the vote, was Fae Farm.
Ah. Fae Farm is very cozy.
It was the jumping.
Oh,
That's as cozy as it gets.
Flailing of the legs and arms. That might not be the coziest part, but it definitely has that kind of very relaxed vibe. You know, you can kind of do things at your own leisure. The graphics are very cute, and
Yeah,
I can see that.
It's definitely made to give you the cozy feeling.
That's
like
true.
they know what they were doing
Yeah.
when they put that game together.
Right.
I don't want this to be too controversial because this is a feel-good category.
Are you going to weaponize the coziness again?
No, I think I feel like Venba is maybe in the Stray category for me, where on paper it looks very cozy, but I don't know, there are some kind of like real things that happen in this game that are maybe not so cozy, like.
Oh, you mean story narrative-wise?
Right.
There's a moment in the story that's
there's multiple
quite terrifying.
Like very small spoiler, like your father gets mugged in a park.
Yes.
I wouldn't say that's the coziest thing to have happen.
Yeah, that's true.
In a game, like all the cooking and stuff, that I can understand that cozy. So I put that in the perhaps fool's gold of cozy games.
I see.
It got second most votes here though, so maybe I'm completely wrong.
I
Probably
picked that for mine actually.
Yes.
I feel like I do have this like weird way of picking the ones that you don't think are cozy, because I think last year I was like, Stray is so cozy. Look at this cat sleeping. You're like, the cat's face is gonna get eaten off by
These
a
aliens are
horrible
chasing
alien.
this cat.
And yes, I picked the game where your father gets mugged in a park to be the cozy game of the year for me. I don't know. This game I think is one of those things where I was very taken in by how relatable the story is, and I think it seeped into my mind like memories of me cozy cooking with my mother, and I think that's why I had to give it to this game. But I do agree with you that there are some narrative things in this game and things that happen in this game that's actually quite not cozy and very serious and a little bit, can be very scary. So that part was not cozy, but just like this idea of cooking with my mother, and the main character in this game cooking with his mother, and learning these family recipes and feeling comforted from them, that was very cozy for me.
Okay.
So that's why I picked that game.
I have something very exciting to share.
Oh, yeah?
Which is my winner is actually not one of these 6 nominees.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Oh, you can do whatever you want.
Do whatever I want.
I see.
I mean, if I can wear this,
I didn't know that we were allowed to do whatever we wanted.
Everything's on the table. So last year, we made a mistake.
We did?
We did these awards too soon, and there was a great game that came out kind of mid-December.
Little Gator game,
which in hindsight would have been all over our awards.
Yes.
Would have been in my top 10 list.
Right. It haunted you.
And I vowed that we will never have that happen to us again.
That's true. You were very haunted by this for like the rest of the year.
This year, a game just came out last week.
I see.
A Highland song, which you have seen. You saw me playing this nonstop on this airplane and stuff.
The TGAs, yes.
That is my winner of the best cozy game.
But you were showing me images or parts of the game where your character would just literally fall face flat off a mountain. How's that cozy?
That's your own fault.
How's that cozy?
Well, you don't actually. You're just like, oh, I sprained my ankle, like sort of thing.
That is not cozy.
It's fine.
Spraining your ankle because you fell off a mountain.
So we have not talked about this game, and it just came out, so people may not know what it is. But basically, it's a game that takes place in the Scottish Highlands, and basically the idea is you're going from your home to go visit your uncle who lives very far away.
Right.
It's all about sort of traversing the wilds of the Highlands, which I've been to. It's an extremely beautiful place, so I could kind of connect to it on that sense. But the atmosphere is very inviting. I felt the music is wonderful. There's a lot of like people talking in whispers.
There's some like
wistfully.
Scottish
pub
music.
There's Scottish pub music. There's great Scottish accents. Like, I had such a good feeling when I was playing this game. So this was extremely easy pick for me.
Nice.
And thank goodness we did not make that mistake again. I would never.
You can't do that to yourself.
I would never forgive myself.
You really can't do that to yourself 2 years in a row.
So it did come in too late to get nominated.
Right.
But we will not let it go unrecognized.
That's right. You did not make the same mistakes as you did last year.
I finished this game to be ready for today.
Yeah, like yesterday night.
I really did.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe we skipped a category in our list here?
Oh, did you skip best soundtrack?
We skipped best soundtrack.
You did, didn't you? Let's
but we are
catch up with
fixing that right here.
Yeah.
So best soundtrack. Wow, looking at these nominees, this was a great year for game music.
Amazing year for music.
We have 6 great nominees, as always, starting with, no snub here, Octopath Traveler 2.
Yes, no one gets snubbed at the Kit and Krysta Awards.
Alan Wake 2, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, Hi-Fi Rush, and Sea of Stars. You vowed that you would play Hi-Fi Rush this weekend to get ready for this, did you? Oh, no.
Don't call me out!
All right, well, I guess that's not your pick. But here we had perhaps our most overwhelming victory yet, going to Tears of the Kingdom.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yay.
The Legend of Zelda.
I do think that the Tears of the Kingdom sort of main theme is really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that they use the erhu, which is a Chinese, almost like a Chinese violin kind of instrument.
Yes, they do.
And
the saxophone.
And the saxophone, of course.
Great combination.
But yes, very interesting combination. Yeah, very strange. But it kind of works, right?
Yeah.
But that instrument is so unique and it's such a cool, it was a cool thing to hear.
And they didn't use that in the first game's music so much?
I don't think they did. And of course, we cannot forget the wonderful Stable Trotter's quest.
Oh, yes.
In Tears of the Kingdom, when you got to you had to reunite the musicians, to have this
How could anybody forget?
I listened to that song last night to prepare for this, and I teared up once more. So I don't know why that song makes me a little weepy, but I just absolutely love it so much. So I can absolutely see why that everyone picked that to be their winner. Such an overwhelming win too. 41
Huge.
points.
42% of the vote. Dominant. Second place was Octopath Traveler 2 at 23%.
Excellent. Yes.
Is Zelda your pick?
It isn't.
Oh.
I was struggling hardcore because I talked about the Stable Trotter quest for 4 months, okay? Because I just loved it so much. But in the end, I have to give it to Alan Wake.
Oh, really?
The music in this game is it is. It's an album. After every sort of part that you finish in the game.
Alan Wake came in last place in this vote.
I'm sorry to my community, but I
so
did not agree with
the music. So we saw this group perform at the Game Awards. And is it their music throughout, or is it other stuff?
It is
what
their
even
music
is this?
throughout. So it's really interesting. I did not know, I didn't expect music to be such a huge part of this game, but it was a surprise to me and a pleasant one. So after every sort of big section that you play, you get this musical interlude, basically. And the whole game is basically a full album of original songs, amazing songs. And then, of course, there is this, it's kind of like Zelda in a way where there is a very strong, component, part of the game, a narrative part of the game that is really driven by music. So there's a part of the game where you saw some of that performance at the Game Awards where they were doing the little dance together.
Never been more confused.
And you were very confused, but I thought it was absolutely delightful because that was the part of the game that you play. No, sorry if there's anyone that.
You play that?
You go through this portion of the game where that is a focus of the story, and it's very irreverent and just weird, and you're just I'm here for this. This is freaking awesome. And then there's a lot of narrative connection between the story and the Old Gods of Asgard, which is the band that plays during that played during the TGAs, but they're also in the game as characters as well. So it's very connected. The music in the game, which is what I love about, Alan Wake and also Zelda, is that the music and the gameplay itself is very connected. But yeah, I mean, the music in this game was such a surprise to me. I did not see this coming. And I'm still listening to it now. I listen to the soundtrack all the time.
Well, I saw that group, they were on the charts.
Yeah. They're legit amazing.
But that is not in real life The old, what are they, the old what?
I think they're a real life band.
But they have a different name, right? And the guy's not wearing an eye patch in real life? Is that it?
I don't know. I don't.
Okay.
Maybe there's some sort of Finnish group that I don't know about.
I don't know either. I just continue.
But
to be
I just
confused.
like it.
But I clearly need to find a way to
at least
experience this game.
Experience that part of it.
And see this thing.
It was just the most, like, I was so scared. And then this thing happened with the music, and I was like no longer scared. I was just like delighted. And to have that sort of your emotions going up and down like that was really incredible. Like it was seriously really incredible. So yes.
Okay.
I love it. I love it all.
My pick here, I think, came in second to last. Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes, you want to go down by the river.
So I was robbed of my live performance of Down by the River at the Game Awards.
You were robbed.
And I lamented this with many other people on our trip who had played the game and loved that song. That song is incredible. That's the song that plays like when you boot up the game, when you're doing the character creator.
Yeah.
But this soundtrack is so good. The whole thing is just on YouTube, like officially, if you want to check it. It's on all the streaming services too. That's actually not my favorite song on the soundtrack. There's another one, which is the theme that they play quite often. They play it also when you are at your camp. And it's called I Want to Live. And that really is the theme of the game.
Yeah.
From everybody's perspective. All these characters have this parasite in their brain that they're trying to get rid of. But everybody else has something that is impeding them from living their life. Like one character has like an artificial heart that's like a bomb that could explode at any moment. One person has this weird like crisis of faith with her religion.
Right.
Everybody has something that is like blocking them from living their life, and this is like the incarnate theme of that when you're having these very like heart-to-heart conversations with people at your camp. So for that to be played out like thematically in all these different ways is so great, but it also has this kind of like, it does a big part of the world building. It feels very like otherworldly. Like I'm going into something that is not Earth, and I'm experiencing something that is different. Like
almost like celestial. Right.
Like there's something in the part where you got stuck and stopped playing those caves.
Yes.
Like the music there is like kind of haunting. It's like you're hearing these like
echoes,
ghostly dwarven chants in the background.
It's a little creepy.
Like this game can do it all.
Yeah.
It's got bangers, it's got soft stuff, it's got mood pieces. Like it's incredible.
It is incredible.
It's
hard to pick this year, let me tell you. It's hard to pick. Yes.
Octopath Traveler 2, I only played the demo. I did listen through the soundtrack. It is amazing. Yes. But I felt I couldn't. I couldn't honestly say that was my pick.
Yeah, that's the thing is like the music is so good all around for all of these games, but for me it was more so like how is the music connected to the game? Like how deeply is it ingrained in the gameplay? And I think if you look at it from that perspective, Zelda and Alan Wake definitely come out more so at the top, and Alan Wake just kind of really takes it to another level.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, such good spoiled this year with music for sure.
All right. Our next category is our most stacked of this whole thing.
I love this category.
Top to bottom, these could all be winners. They're all winners in our heart. This is Best Companion.
Oh,
the nominees are Torgal from Final Fantasy XVI.
Baby.
Ochi from Pikmin. You're just going to say this after everyone.
Baby.
BD1 from Star Wars Jedi Survivor. The Owlbear Cub from Baldur's Gate 3. Vasco from Starfield. Is Vasco a baby? No.
Baby.
And finally, Prince Florian from Super Mario Bros. Wonder. People were very upset with you for leaving.
I left out, I am so sorry.
From Ghost Trick.
The doggy from Ghost Trick, Missile. My deepest, sincerest apologies to Missile. You are a winner in my heart.
I think we can, in this case, we can always default back to our general outlook, which is if we can recognize an original game versus a remake, that's generally...
Good save.
Yes, I really talked you out of that.
You really saved me.
Saved your bacon here.
Because Missile is just absolutely great, and I do love Missile.
I absolutely went through an emotional
roller
crisis
coaster
trying to make my pick here.
Okay.
The community maybe not so much, getting 49%, nearly half of the vote. Ochi from Pikmin 4.
Ochi.
Love Ochi. That was great. Prince Florian got 19%.
Prince Florian's
and then third place was Torgal.
Very cute. Ochi was like the best part of Pikmin for me.
I agree.
As a person that does not really enjoy Pikmin very much, Ochi was like, at least you're around to be adorable.
I agree.
And when you told me that something bad happens to Ochi, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it.
It's not as bad when you see it happening. Like it's more of like a suggestion of like, oh, maybe something bad might happen. Like nothing bad actually does happen to Ochi. I want to be very clear about this.
Look at my face right now.
I'm being very clear about this.
Why would they even suggest this though, is my question. What is wrong with you, okay?
Wow.
Where you would suggest that anything bad could potentially possibly happen to Ochi. That is unacceptable to me. No.
Very minor spoiler. In Baldur's Gate 3, you do have, at one point, the possibility to send your owlbear cub into battle. I absolutely did not do that. No. Absolutely did not.
No. Protect
yes.
the owlbear cub at all cost.
There's also, in addition to Torgal, there's a character in Star Wars Jedi Survivor who's this kind of frog-looking freakazoid named Turgle. I think
Turgle.
T-U-R-G. I'm
not as cute as
Torgal and Turgle. No, Turgle didn't make the cut.
No. So the community picked Ochi.
Yes.
I will definitely agree that Ochi is GOAT. But my
Gochi?
Gochi. And I'm still upset with Nintendo for even suggesting.
You got to get off of that. You didn't even play this game.
I don't care.
Jeez.
Don't do that. Don't you dare. This is where you look up, like, doesthedogdie.com to see if the dog is okay before you play the game. My pick was Torgal, okay? Because I didn't play Pikmin 4. I love Ochi, but I didn't play Pikmin 4, so I couldn't pick that.
Okay.
Torgal, though, you meet Torgal in the game as a puppy.
True.
And then Torgal becomes an integral part of your party. He is very useful to you. He is just like, you do send Torgal into battle, and you know that Torgal is going to be just fine. But Torgal's
very capable.
That's what I'm saying. Like, nothing's going to happen to Torgal. I did look up if something bad were going to happen to Torgal before I played the game, because I was worried for him.
And then Torgal gets Torgal becomes a Pokemon at a certain point.
Torgal becomes a legendary Pokemon, and you're like, you find out like what's happening with Torgal, and I was delighted by that.
Yeah.
I definitely clapped at my television, which was weird. But yeah, Torgal was amazing. What a great, fun thing to have, this really capable, playable character a character in your party that is a cute dog. So wolf, whatever.
Yeah.
But I love Torgal.
Okay. I also chose Ochi here.
Okay, good.
I really do like BD1 from Star Wars though, but Ochi kind of, for me, gave me a whole different perspective on Pikmin. Because Ochi did eliminate some of the things that I didn't love so much about Pikmin before.
That's so true.
Ochi kind of centralizes you and all your Pikmin. Mm-hmm. Ochi gives you some agency as the player to, like that move where Ochi just slams into things and then all the Pikmin jump on and then they start attacking. Is incredible. Like there's so much Ochi can do.
Right.
In addition
to just a cute thing.
In addition to just being cute. Like if they make Pikmin 5 and Ochi's not in it,
you're out.
I'm gonna be mad.
If Ochi, again, if there's any suggestion something's wrong
with
Ochi and Pikmin 5.
And maybe next time Ochi can have a nose. That's my other suggestion.
I like his little tail. It's
maybe
so
next time Ochi can have a nose.
Cute. It's like a little dandelion. So cute.
Yes.
I do want to give a little shout out to Prince Florian though.
Okay.
Prince Florian is very, very cute. Very cute.
Very unobtrusive, I would say.
Yes, very much. But it's like just a little on your shoulder, and you want to help Prince Florian, and you want to give him a hand.
Second place. A lot of people agreed.
I love Prince Florian.
Okay.
It's a good one.
All right, let's take a deep breath from that and move on to the most disappointing game. The 6 nominees here are, even in a great year like 2023, there were still a couple disappointing games to talk about. So we have Starfield, Everybody 1-2 Switch, WarioWare Move It, Sonic Superstars, Redfall, and Forspoken. And the vote here was really dominated by 3 games. We'll go in reverse order and reveal the winner. 23% chose Redfall. 25% chose Everybody 1-2 Switch, obvi. And getting the win, big win for Starfield. Starfield, 28.7%.
I mean, it's very close.
Extremely close, but yes, Starfield was the most disappointing game of 2023. The people have spoken.
That's interesting. Yeah, okay. I mean, I could see it going also.
I mean, look at the top 2 vote getters here. Everybody 1-2 Switch. I mean, you know it's going to stink. So are you really disappointed?
Right.
Versus Starfield, which is hyped up to be, the next big thing. I think we spent a lot of time asking ourselves, like, is this going to be a Game of the Year contender? Mm-hmm. Like, are we going to have to upend our
categories
our
and our
outlook on the year because
totally.
Starfield is going to blow our mind? In the end, I wouldn't put Starfield in this position, but it did not move the whole kind of Bethesda RPG genre forward very much at all. I felt I was like, well, that's another one of those games that they make. And it did leave me wanting, like, well, what is the big advancement that they can do? And it's been interesting to hear them say, in hindsight, now that they're doing all these interviews of like, yeah, it took us a long time to try and make this game fun. Mm-hmm. And we tried these different things, but they weren't fun.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like
they struggled a little bit.
It seemed like they had this big concept in their mind and then struggled to make a game around it.
Right. Yeah. You do kind of see that play out when we both played and beat Starfield. So we gave it a very fair shake.
Right.
I wouldn't say Starfield was like a bad game by any means.
It's fine.
But it just, it didn't really like have the stickiness that we were wondering if it could.
Right. If only you could take off and fly through the atmosphere into space, we might be having a different conversation here.
There's a lot of if-onlys in that game.
But to that point,
I think there is a lot of if-onlys.
All of the space exploration was basically menus and fast traveling.
Yes.
Which was not the most exciting way to experience that. Yeah. There are some parts of the game that you can kind of forget about, like the space battles. We forgot about all the way till we got to the end, and there's a mandatory space battle. And then you were forced to do it,
and I didn't know how to do it.
You could barely get through.
Yeah, and there were some very, very hard difficulty spikes in that game, which made it like a little bit unplayable in some parts. So it was a very uneven experience.
There were some parts in the second half of that game which I didn't love.
Yeah. What is your pick for this? Is it Starfield?
No. Oh. My pick is everybody 1-2 Switch.
So is mine. I'm never
Even though we knew it would stink. I mean,
I'm never going to forget that One Up Club Superstars meetup that we had when we played this game. We tried to give it like a fair
It was kind of fun then, I thought.
No, it really wasn't. I mean, I had fun hanging out with our Patreon family, but I did not have fun playing this game. This was not fun at all.
I mean, my disappointment is that Nintendo has this super high bar for quality. There was the article that came out kind of exposing what was happening with this game behind the scenes, and everybody knew that it was a dud. When I saw that article, I thought, okay, well, this game's never going to see the light of day.
Yeah.
And then it does come out, and it is, as rough as everybody's saying it is. And I just don't like to see Nintendo lower their standards.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Exactly.
I don't know.
You don't have to come out with this game. No one asked or wanted it.
Right.
The other thing that disappointed me is that like Nintendo was very, I don't know, they went out of their way to do like weird marketing for it to make it feel not crappy, but it was. Like they had that whole big event with all those weird influencers that were kind of hamming it up, for this game.
Yeah.
It all just looked so artificial because it was, and it was just like that kind of like air of desperation to make what they know as a bad game come off good.
Right.
Was like kind of pathetic. So yeah, that's why I picked this one. And again, that quiz thing is probably one of the laziest.
You got exposed, though.
It was the laziest.
It was like,
game design
Krysta,
thing.
what's 1 + 1? Like tick tock.
I knew the answers. It was horrible. It was such a bad experience. Like
if you add this is a little hack, a Krysta hack. If you add a countdown to anything, you will just freeze.
I will fall apart.
And just be in shambles and you will not know.
I hate any kind of countdown. I hate being chased. Those are my two like weaknesses. Now everyone knows, which is great. So please don't chase me and count down because I will freak out. But yeah, what a horrible game. It's really bad.
Yeah, at best it was kind of like a C-level Jackbox knockoff.
D-.
Whatever. So yes, even in a year of great games, there was some good debate in our Discord about why Sonic Superstars was on this list. Some people thought it was just me doing my stuff, but no, like people did raise some interesting points about, did they enjoy it or did they find it disappointing or not? Yeah. They just announced some Christmas DLC for that I gotta admit looked kind of cool.
Looked kind of good, yeah. You're a sucker for Christmas DLC though.
Absolutely am.
Any game with Christmas DLC, you will play it. So.
But it's not my pick, so that's how you can tell I'm doing this in good faith.
Exactly. You picked a Nintendo game.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Moving on to best multiplayer, and I have to say this was one of the categories where we struggled to even come up
with 6 games.
With 6 games.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why, but this was just a lighter year
for
multiplayer games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
And here are our 6 nominees: Street Fighter 6, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Diablo 4, F-Zero 99, Mortal Kombat 1, and Party Animals.
Oh, Party Animals.
And we had another dominant win here. Mm-hmm. Second place went to F-Zero 99, getting a quarter of the vote, which is quite a bit.
That's great.
But the winner is Super Mario Bros. Wonder, getting 40%. I am almost certain this is not your pick.
No.
Because you seem to hate the multiplayer in this game.
I truly do. I very much dislike the online multiplayer. I only liked when you and I played together. Like in a very calm...
Right.
And just 2 of us together, local co-op, that was fine. Even that had its moments of like frustration. Mm-hmm. But I was able to like kind of get on board with that. But I absolutely hated the multiplayer in Super Mario Bros. I'm like, I don't want to play this game with anybody. I want to play this game by myself.
You're referring to also the online kind of in the background.
Awful.
Why did you? Was it distracting?
It was the whole game had a lot of distractions that I was trying to eliminate. So I did not like the online thing because it was very distracting, and I don't like the shadows and the ghosts and the things. And then like I didn't like those flowers talking to me either, so I just turned all of it off.
Oh, the flowers. Well, the flowers have nothing to do with multiplayer.
I know. I'm just saying that the game has a lot of distractions.
I see.
And I did not love that, unfortunately. So, I loved playing this game by myself. It was great. I had a great time. I had a lot of fun. I pretty much almost 100% of this game, so I loved it, but I just did not like the multiplayer at all for this.
I really liked the collective online playing with a group, whether it's strangers or people I really liked that.
I did like when we played together in our meetup.
Yeah.
Because that was a good play and chill. We were just chatting.
You could do the races.
That was actually okay.
I think that's. I don't
really like the strangers part, but I liked it with people we know. That was fun.
Yeah, when there's a lot, it can get to be. I could see how you could find that distracting. But there were a lot of times where I solved a puzzle or found a hidden thing because I saw somebody do it, or someone was trying to direct me around.
Yeah.
I think those races are a great addition.
Yeah, those races were fun. And I liked being able to actually be on the phone and talk to people while doing that.
Using the NSO app, of course. Right?
No.
Right?
Absolutely not.
But the local multiplayer, I kind of don't know how it felt like a step back from New Super Mario Brothers, but it kind of did in some ways.
It feels like it kind of slows you down. It doesn't feel fluid. Again, if only it works if you play with someone that you know exactly their play style.
The way that Yoshi's...
Oh, the Yoshi's.
I think they had the right idea in their hearts of let's have some different characters that can help different kinds of players. You have these beginner characters like Nabbit. I thought that was good. But I think specifically for Yoshi, there could have been more.
Yeah. Yoshi got kind of the rotten end of the deal.
Because Yoshi can't get a power-up.
Yeah, and then you can't ride a Yoshi, really. So it's what is the point of this Yoshi?
Yeah.
It's a little unfortunate.
But I can understand why this won.
Yeah, I think a lot of people love this.
I think if this
I'm an outlier.
I actually think if this didn't have the local multiplayer, it might have been my pick.
Really?
Right, that's how I did enjoy this.
Wow,
that much.
That's so interesting.
But again, this was a weaker year overall for multiplayer. So what was your pick?
Diablo 4. Yeah.
A game you dropped like a hot potato the minute you got that Starfield code.
So much fun.
Then why haven't we gone back?
Because we're busy with other games. But when we were playing, this game is built for multiplayer, obviously, and it does it so well, and it was such a return to old school multiplayer Diablo when we used to have LAN parties. That's what it felt like, but easier, obviously. And we had so much fun. We all picked different characters. We even had someone join us in our little group gaming session that was kind of new to Diablo, and he did fine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like we were like dropping weapons for him, like helping him out like with his upgrades and stuff, and it was so much fun. Like I really had a good time. We had like almost like every night we were like jumping on to play together and stuff, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
I gave it a Street Fighter 6 here.
Nice.
They just have so many options and ways to play online that I really appreciated.
Yeah.
They kind of found a way for people of different skill levels. Like,
yes.
like you were rocking
I could
those.
be fine.
What were the name of those controls?
Modern controls.
The modern controls.
Yeah, I was doing great.
And you were doing really good with those. I think we both really liked the little online hub.
That was so fun when it looked like a real arcade.
Right, when we streamed it or when we did meetups, like you could actually see people like standing around the cabinet cheering.
Yeah.
The way they had those classic Capcom games in the back, like that whole hub was like really cool.
It was so well done. And when we took group pictures together and stuff with like everybody that was playing with us, that was so fun.
But I think they did really nail that thing that's super hard to do in a fighting game of like everybody can feel like they're having a good time. Nobody feels like they're just getting their butt kicked if they're with a better player. Like you can always tweak it, and make it to work. But they did add so many, new mechanics and things that added depth that I only really started to scratch the surface with. But again, I love that my muscle memory carries over.
You're still really good, yeah. We have some very proficient.
We have some very good players.
Players in our Patreon family.
Yeah.
Jerry, I'm talking to you. Thank you for saving us when we were bullied in the Street Fighter hub. Me and Switching It Up underscore. Was it the Shark Moment? One of them. We were like getting bullied by somebody that was like not in our group, and then Jerry had to step in and help us.
Okay.
Showed him who was boss. It was great. we stood in the back and cheered.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Our next category is the most pleasant surprise. And our 6 nominees are Viewfinder, Suika Game, The Making of Karateka, Hi-Fi Rush, F-Zero 99, and Pizza Tower.
Ooh.
These are really good.
Yeah, they're definitely surprises.
Nominees, all 6 of them here. Second place was Hi-Fi Rush at 22%. First place, Dominant, 38%. F-Zero 99.
Yeah, that was a great surprise because you really don't know how, I didn't have a sense of how well this game, like an F-Zero game, would do in that 99 format. It works perfectly. Absolutely perfect.
I'm realizing these top 2 games were both shadow drops, which
that makes it a surprise
when you're thinking about a surprise, like that's as surprising as it gets. Of like, wow, this is out now.
Yeah, and it just it really, I think especially for F-Zero 99 it was one of those things where like, oh my gosh, how come this was not here all along? Like it works so well. It perfectly suits this kind of format, so it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush I thought was cool because, often the games that get shadow dropped are a bit smaller in scope.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Hi-Fi Rush is a game where you could have done like a year-long marketing campaign.
Yeah.
So for them to just put that out, it seems to have worked for them, and it was a pretty bold move, I think, for them to do that.
Right.
And, yeah, F-Zero 99 is a great... that got leaked. So leading up to that direct.
That's right.
Puro was saying it's going to be F-Zero, but it's maybe not the F-Zero that you were
expect.
expecting. And people were getting disappointed. And it was so great when it finally came out that this game got embraced, where people started playing it like, oh my gosh, this is actually
perfect.
Super good, and a very modern, a really great way to modernize F-Zero and bring it into the future. Does it mean we'll get more F-Zero games? I don't know.
Yeah.
But we should, enjoy it for what it is while we can.
Don't shut her down now.
Hopefully
Nintendo.
this one does not. I do feel like this has staying power.
I don't think it has staying power, yeah.
I see that they're still adding like new modes to this.
And there's still such a huge amount of interest for it. Like they really judge it by the amount of people playing.
Exactly.
It,
so I do feel better about this sticking around than some of the other games that they have taken down.
Yeah.
So I think this is a very deserving winner.
Very deserving winner.
Your pick?
My pick is The Making of Karateka.
Really?
Yes.
Another last place.
Yeah,
You're just playing the contrarian here.
I'm not. I didn't even look at these results, honestly, when I made my list. But this was something that, you and I both love the digital clips, like the way they do these sort of interactive documentaries.
Yes.
And the reason why I picked this game is I have no idea what Karateka is. I never grew up with this game. I have no clue at all what this was. So I had no sort of interest, early interest before jumping into this. And this is something that you were like, hey, let's look at this together we were on the plane somewhere. And we both just got sucked in for like 2.5 hours. We went through the whole thing on the plane together. It was so interesting. I learned so much. And it was just something that I never expected to be interested in at all. Yeah. So that's why. It was a very pleasant surprise.
I really would have chosen that if it was not for Viewfinder, which is my pick. Like the circumstance of us getting exposed to Viewfinder is so funny. So we were at GDC, and we had an appointment with Thunderful, which was agreed to. We were having this meeting so we can see SteamWorld build.
Right.
And we got in, and they said, hey, before we show you SteamWorld build, we want to show you this game. And I got so mad in that moment because I was like, I hate this. Like, I've been on the other side of this. Like, don't do this to people. Don't bait and switch them or make them see the other thing that you want to see. So I had a really kind of bad taste in my mouth going into that. But this game's incredible.
Yeah, as soon as you started playing, I think you changed your mind.
Right, and spoiler alert, this game is on my top 10 list, so it really made a lasting impact with me.
Yeah.
And that is just the magic that can happen when this random game can totally captivate you out of nowhere, of knowing nothing about this game. Right. And even the person who was doing the demo was having a very light touch of this, like, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, you can, go ahead, here's a controller. Have fun.
Right.
And there was a moment when, I think we had this captured on camera, actually, so if you want to go back and watch our GDC vlog, you'll see Kit's face when it clicked for you. And, it was incredible. Like, you were playing, and it was like that, it was like a mind-blown moment that we captured. Yeah. And that literally is a real thing that happened to you when you first played this game, and it's amazing. Yeah.
Suika game. Still tearing up the eShop, I have to say. Though.
I still am too cheap to pay $2.
Come on!
I have only been playing the web version of it, but I kind of play this game weirdly a lot. Like I play this game every other game.
Suika game is legit.
Suika game
Extremely
is great.
legit.
It's very, very satisfying when you get the big watermelon. Right. So, yes.
All right. This is our biggest category in terms of the nominees. So when you're doing a game of the year, you want to have these categories with these defined chunks or these groupings of games. Yeah. But we end up with other things that we like and we want to recognize that doesn't fit into a category. Yeah. So we took those and made them into its own category. Right. We call this this was cool, but there's no category for it, category. And I believe we have 10 nominees here.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool little little bits that happened throughout the year that we wanted to recognize.
So let's just get through these all. We have Jumping in Fae Farm, Kit and Krysta Sonic Week, Phil Spencer's Kinda Funny Interview, Clothes Are Optional in Baldur's Gate 3, whoa, Wonderflower Dialogue in Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Modern FPS Controls in Metroid Prime Remastered, Shootin' Hoops while the Shins New Slime plays in Spider-Man 2, the June Nintendo Direct was better than it had any right to be. Alan Wake 2 Music and Dancing, which I think now we might understand a little bit better. And finally, Crazy Ultra Hand Builds and Tears of the Kingdom.
These are so much fun. God, what a random assortment of things that happened this year.
I like how it's some of these are in a game, some of these are not, some of these are things that we did. That's really fun.
And some of these are the things that really made us laugh. Like when that one about the Shins playing in Spider-Man 2, we both were like, huh? Yeah. Oh, it kind of works.
So I'll read the top 3. Third place, Kit and Krysta Sonic Week. Who could forget that?
Hey! We were in onesies.
Number 2, I don't think this was your vote. Wonderflower Dialogue in Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Yeah.
And then finally, Crazy Ultra Hand Builds.
Yeah.
Viral builds. We had a couple of those.
We did. It really did go viral.
The winner, 27.3%. Well, our viral Ultra Hand build was the Star Wars
Pod Racer.
Pod Racer. Now this is Pod Racing. Yes.
That did go viral.
That got a million views on Instagram.
That got a million views on Instagram.
Way to go. Yeah. Way to go us. Look where we are now. Our life has changed.
Our life has changed. Forever. No, but Pod Racer.
That did feel like this game had a month where this was the thing, and people were making Gundams and lewd things and just all sorts of things that who could have imagined were even possible with this game. So I think this is a very deserving winner.
Absolutely. This was my winner, actually.
Oh, really?
It was.
Wow.
Yeah. I love it when a game can do this. I love it when the whole community around, a single game just like does something completely unexpected.
Yeah.
Whether it's like a weird way to beat a boss or building these ridiculous machines or whatever. I love the ones where they were taking down the Gleeoks with like those crazy laser machines. Oh my gosh, it was so cool to see everybody's Ultra Hand builds. On the other hand, I was feeling very like incompetent when it came to this, so I always was a little bit envious.
Oh, you seemed...
I had some like...
You got upset a couple times when we were doing Ultra Hand stuff.
Like, I was just like, man, I wish I could be better at this. I struggled.
The run versus ride video that we did, you got really mad in that one because you couldn't even make a simple razor scooter or something.
I really had a hard time, so I really truly admired everyone that was able to do these, and it was like so cool to see you guys do it, but I just was incompetent at them. But I thought this was the coolest thing ever this year.
This is kind of a silly category, so I have kind of a silly winner, which is indeed
clothes are optional.
The Shins' new slang plays while shooting hoops in Spider-Man 2, which...
You could not get over that.
A whopping 5 people voted for. 1.8% of the vote. I got you. We're on the same wavelength. No, so...
This is such a...
On a more serious note, like I did, when I talked about best narrative, and I said, like, wow, this game's really going for the narrative in a way I didn't expect. Like, this was kind of a good example of that. Like, they didn't have to do this.
No.
But with you and your friend going back to your old high school, shooting some hoops, like you actually like push the button to shoot the ball while this song plays.
And you have those great dialogue.
I mean, that song would have been perfect 12 years ago, but
I like that song.
Well, you had some big times 12 years ago too.
I liked it. It was nice. I think it was a good moment.
But I just liked that it was this big swing of like, we're going to have this really like heart-warming moment between these two characters. And they did try to have that point of like, these people are all friends. They've known each other forever. They have that special bond.
They have another part where they go to Coney Island, which is very similar.
That could have been on the list too.
Yeah.
Did you see this? What? The Insomniac Holiday Party was recreating the Coney Island
Invite us!
Carnival.
That sounds so great. Sounds way better than a Nintendo party that we went to where a tarot card reader made someone cry.
That would have been so cool to go to.
That is such a good idea.
But yes, that is my pick.
Good.
Crazy as it may seem.
I love it. I love it. I do love it.
All right. I have been waiting all day for this one.
Vista King.
Best Vistas. Here are 6 nominees. Spider-Man 2. The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Baldur's Gate 3. Dordogne. Final Fantasy 16. And a Highland Song. I did sneak that one in.
Sneak it in. Okay, yeah.
Snuck that one in right at the deadline. I forget what we cut, but I was like, this gotta go.
This has gotta go in. Yeah, it's gotta go in.
This is perhaps our most overwhelming win of the day, maybe?
Yeah.
74%. The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
But as the Vista King, you can overrule them.
No, this is my pick as well.
Okay.
This is my pick.
This is also my pick.
Good.
Okay.
I did dabble with the idea of like, gosh, Dordogne looks so good.
It did.
But I think...
It wasn't a Vista.
And I also... I really did try to challenge this from every angle.
Yeah.
Where it's like, are these just the same vistas from the last game?
No. They're not.
Like, should I try and recognize something new and different? But I went back to when we did our Community Vista Challenge.
Yeah.
And the things that I was seeing in there were very different.
Yes.
From what I saw in Breath of the Wild, and were possible.
You had the Sky Islands.
In Breath of the Wild, but even beyond the Sky Islands, like people captured stuff that really amazed me and surprised me.
Yeah.
And it is more than just the same places from Breath of the Wild. And the thing that I love about it is some of these other games, they will present you with a vista that is beautiful, but it's like the game is telling you to look at it, and they're showing it to you from a certain angle. With Tears of the Kingdom, it's like the challenge is like, you are making this vista. You have to make this look good.
Yeah.
Like, it generally looks good, but you can make it look amazing if you position yourself, if you do these things with the camera, at the right time of day, all of this stuff. So,
and it's also the sense of discovery that it comes hand in hand with this game. That's what makes the vistas really special, because you never know. You could round the corner, you could climb up a rock, you can jump to a sky island, you could be diving off something, and all of a sudden you see it.
Right.
You know, and that's something that only you can discover in that moment.
And sometimes it's like, I'll never capture this again.
No, because the time of day, it's like the weather or the whatever.
Versus like a game like Baldur's Gate like has these points where it's like they wanted you to walk to this place and look at this great view, which it looked great, but it's not the same.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
So, yes, I am fully in support of this overwhelming victory here. Great year for Vistas.
Good year for Vistas. I like this one. This is a good one.
The biggest news bombshell.
Oof.
So we're getting away from specific games and talking about things that happened this year. 6 nominees are the Grand Theft Auto 6 reveal. Good thing we didn't miss that.
I know, right? Sneak that in.
Jim Ryan leaving PlayStation. Microsoft's Activision acquisition goes through. I hope I never have to say that again. That's very hard to say.
Activision acquisition. It's like a tongue twister.
Charles Martinet is no longer the voice of Mario. What?
Whoa.
The Zelda movie announcement.
Yeah.
And finally, the Mario movie breaks box office records as
$1
predicted
billion.
by none other than yours truly. Moi. Let's see. Second place, the Zelda movie announcement got 27.6%. But first place, and perhaps a surprising victory, I don't know. Charles Martinet is no longer the voice of Mario.
That's a bombshell.
44% of the vote.
That was crazy. When this happened, that was crazy.
More than the Zelda movie, though. Oh my gosh.
Definitely.
Wow.
It's more drama.
This definitely, this had a big impact on every Nintendo fan, our community, who've just come to love and know Charles as the voice of Mario for a long time. Like, 25? Like, I don't even know. Really long time.
Yeah.
And even though Mario is not the most chatty guy in games, I think people
just the end of an era.
had some feelings about this.
Yeah, you definitely feel some type of way when like this thing from your childhood suddenly is no longer. And it was definitely sad and a moment of like recognizing Charles for the wonderful joy that he brought to the character of Mario. And also just, recognizing that this is the end of something, you know? So I agree. I think this is a pretty big bombshell. It was my pick.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
On the other end of things, poor Jim Ryan got a whopping 2 votes.
Oh.
My pick here is the Activision acquisition.
Really?
Because when we started the year, we didn't know this was going to go through. There was a good chance that this fell apart.
There's so many dramatic things that happened along the way.
I think now we're in this kind of moment of pause where I'm sure those 2 companies are working things out and getting ready.
Yes.
And I think everybody's glad to have a break from the weekly update of something happening in a courthouse. But I do think starting next year and pretty early next year, we're going to start to see the impacts of this. And I do think it'll be significant. Is it going to, completely change Microsoft's fortune? I don't know. But it is big for the industry and it's big for Xbox. So, and it was an amazing story to follow around the year. It was great content for us as well.
Yeah, I feel like this one didn't feel as much of a sort of this bombshell because it happened so slowly. I mean,
it first happened the year before.
Right, and it kind of was trickling out little by little, and then every week we hear some new wrinkle.
Right.
Whether it's from the government, like the FTC, whatever, all that stuff, and then you would hear the stuff of the leaks, and so because it was kind of dragged out in such a lengthy way, I think it didn't feel as bombshelly to me as the Charles Martinet thing, which was just like, bam, this news dropped and we were all shook.
And there's still a lot of mystery around that, honestly. We've talked a lot about how we were a little confused at how that was handled.
Yeah.
And a lot of the big questions remain unanswered.
Right.
Like, is the new guy forever?
Or
was
just
he
for
just
wonder?
The new guy for this game? And what is a Mario ambassador? We don't know.
No, and we haven't heard from Charles since that one little panel that he did where he admitted that he was also confused about what a Mario ambassador does.
Right.
So there's still an air of mystery around this, and it's until the next Mario game comes out or until the next Mario thing comes out, we might not get an update on what exactly is going on behind the curtain.
Yeah.
But it's very suspicious, but we have to recognize that this is such a such a big deal for the Nintendo, for all Nintendo fans, you know?
Yeah. Our next category is the best non-game game thing. Did you get that?
Yep.
Non-game game thing.
I got it.
So this is something in the world of entertainment or real world that is related to a game but is not actually a game. Our 6 nominees are the Super Mario Brothers movie, Super Nintendo World, The Last of Us TV show, Castlevania Nocturne, the End of the Ash storyline in the Pokemon animated series, and finally Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
Nice.
And the winner is, with nearly 50% of the vote, the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, big year for Mario.
Well deserved. Second place was The Last of Us TV show. Third place was Super Nintendo World, which, to be fair, launched in Japan prior to this year.
Right,
So
but launched in the US this year.
Depending on where you are and your perspective, maybe it's not all that new, but it was new to us.
It was new to us.
Yes.
It was new to us in the US, yeah. Yeah, I love that we have the ability to have this category nowadays because just a few years ago, there were no movies, there were no theme parks, there were no TV shows on HBO, there were nothing. So now that we have this, like, I don't know, like it's cool to see video games have like a bigger presence in all of entertainment. And yeah, what a year it was for all of these like super high quality things. But obviously my pick is also the Super Mario Brothers movie. That was incredible, like an incredible experience just overall, and just a huge sigh of relief that this movie was good because we were all really worried and we wanted, of course, like as to not crush our childhood dreams. We all wanted this to be a wonderful thing, and it was. So there you go.
I narrowed it down to the movie and Super Nintendo World,
Yeah.
and I had a great way to decide what the winner would be, which was if one of these was bad, which would hurt me more if this thing was bad.
Exactly.
So I went with the movie because
yeah.
I spent the first, part of this year really on edge about this movie, worried about this movie, scared about this movie, and ultimately the movie was great, and I came away feeling great and loving Mario more than ever, and I still love Super Nintendo World, but I feel like maybe that thing's footprint on the world in the end is not as big as the Mario movie.
It's not as accessible as the movie.
Right, you have to go there, you got to go do the thing.
Yeah, watch a movie.
And even though we had an incredible day there, I think the movie edges it out. And I just saw like the movie got nominated for some Golden Globes.
I saw that,
and then, those Oscars. I forget. I don't know when those get announced.
Yeah, it's like the early part of next year. So it might continue to.
Could the Mario movie win an Oscar? Could Mr. Miyamoto be up there holding an Oscar? That would be so incredible.
I hope so. That would be amazing.
I would love that.
I would love that for him.
For him and
for Mario.
Yeah, we're in.
Can you get the Mario costume character up there to hold an Oscar?
No, that's tacky. At the Oscars, we can recreate a Will Smith moment with the Mario costume character.
But yes, I agree. I think like everybody was just, especially you, but also me. We were all like just on edge. Like we do not want this to ruin our childhood, and it didn't. It made our childhood even better than ever.
And
so,
now we're on to worrying about the Zelda movie.
Yes,
will that ruin our childhood next?
Probably yes.
All right. And next is a big one.
Oh.
Character of the year. Whoa. This was tough to come up with 6 characters, honestly, because there were so many great ones.
Right.
And our nominees are Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes.
Obviously, Astarion won Best Performance at the Game Awards.
Well deserved.
Sid from Final Fantasy 16.
Hottie.
Not Clive and the very meme-worthy Ben Starr. This is not Best Performance. This is Character of the Year.
Character, yeah.
Miles Morales from Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man.
Saga Anderson from Alan Wake 2. Princess Zelda from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And finally Mario from Everything.
From Everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's see here. Top 2. Coming in second place is Mario. First time Mario ever came in second place.
Oh my gosh.
Princess Zelda.
Oh!
And I remember when you were like, should we even put her on the list?
No, I know. I was thinking about that. But yeah, I'm glad we did because it seems like you guys love Princess Zelda for the Character of the Year this year. And yes, she did a thing.
Over 33% of the vote. Congratulations to Princess Zelda. Final thoughts on her role in this game?
Interesting role in the game. Definitely more involved than she is in other Zelda games, which is great. I love to, see Princess Zelda just do more and more every time we see her. But yeah, and it's sort of one of those things is beyond Tears of the Kingdom, we hadn't seen much of Princess Zelda after that, so.
Yeah, I thought that she had a great role in the game. We'll stay out of the spoiler zone.
Yeah,
but some really of the special moments of the game
involved her.
There were some surprising things that happened to her. Continues to have more and more of a bigger role in the series, which is great, and hopefully something that continues
in the future.
If you had to narrow this down to the best new character, because Miles Morales, Mario,
Sid.
I would probably pick Sid. I really like Sid.
I love Sid.
Yeah, Sid's great.
Saga Engine's pretty awesome.
Why was Clive not on this list?
I don't know. I feel like Clive was not as memorable somehow, even though Sid was in it less.
I'm very confused about your feelings on Clive.
Yeah, I feel like Clive is a little.
Clive is just eye candy. Is that what it is?
A generic eye candy.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
So your pick is
Mario.
Oh, it's mine too.
Yeah, Mario
How could it not be?
Was the star of this year.
He was.
Let's be real. Mario was everywhere. Mario was obviously in the movie in a way that we've never seen Mario before, which was amazing. Just the prolificness of Mario, the transcendent nature of Mario is not to be
trifled with.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you just cannot take that lightly. Like the power of Mario, and I'm
coming soon to Fortnite, Mario? Yeah?
12-year-olds keep dreaming.
Slinging slurp juice, right?
Oh yeah. That's what he's going to be doing that with an AK.
He's going to be twerking with an AK in Fortnite soon?
Yeah.
Awesome.
But Mario is amazing. I always, sometimes I worry a little bit. I'm like, are people going to forget about Mario? And the answer is a resounding no way. From what we saw this year.
We got a new 2D Mario game. We got the Mario movie. We got the Mario theme park. We got Mario RPG.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got a lot. And I got more Mario next year.
I'm sure I forgot some things too.
Yeah, we got more Mario next year.
But the thing that is amazing about Mario is like you never get tired. Nobody's ever tired of Mario.
Yeah, you say the name Mario, no one's like, ugh.
Because it's such a versatile character that can do literally anything.
Yes.
And is not just pigeonholed into like this one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Just incredible.
Really incredible.
Yeah. Best game mechanic is our next category. And our nominees are Ultra Hand from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Fuse from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom,
Okay.
Altering the World with Photographs from Viewfinder, Web Swinging from Spider-Man 2, Rhythm-Based Action in Hi-Fi Rush, and Wonder Effects from Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Another huge, overwhelming win here I can see.
Yes, top three. Fuse was third place. Wonder Effects were third place. And it's a Nintendo sweep on the top three because Ultra Hand was number one.
Oof.
Best game mechanic of the year.
Yeah,
there you go.
Pod racing. What else do you need to say? Yes, Ultra Hand was a very interesting and cool gameplay mechanic. Obviously, when we saw the different gameplay mechanics that were new in Tears of the Kingdom in that video, we were like, what is happening? Minecraft has come to The Legend of Zelda. I think I came away with that being a little bit unsure, is this going to work? And it did. It worked. And
or would this feel out of place in a Zelda game? Why is Link doing this? But no, it definitely
it totally works.
Did.
Yeah.
And there were just so many creative solutions to doing things in the game, even beyond just making zany things.
You actually needed to
It actually had an application in the game that felt good and was fun. And I think Fuse and Ascend also need some recognition because those are all great additions, and it made the game very mechanic based and mechanic heavy. And I think Ascend feels very functional, but in a lot of ways, it's just great.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, I would be like, how do I get out of here?
Right.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, Ascend. And then it's one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, I could do this. And it was such a cool moment when you had those kinds of aha things that happened to you in Tears of the Kingdom, which made it super fun. And yeah, to your point, like it made it very like different the way that everyone was playing the game. Like everyone can play it their own way, which is really cool.
Right, I had so many realizations playing that game. I was like, I'm really underutilizing all these mechanics.
Yeah.
And I think that's fun, where you need to kind of challenge yourself to not just, button mash to beat an enemy or do things the same way.
Think about it.
No, this game is giving you all these tools.
Yeah.
Don't be a loser.
How can
and just
you
mash the button. Come up with something.
Just banging away on that keyboard.
Come up with something new. And that's part of the joy of this game is like, what can I do that I have never done before and is based on my own imagination?
Yeah, exactly. That is not what I actually picked.
That is not the winner.
That said
for you.
is not the winner for me. The winner for me is the Wonder Effects.
Oh.
I was just so delighted by these, and that was the one thing that I wanted so badly from this latest 2D Mario game was I wanted this team to get weird. I wanted this
You'd said that for months.
Yeah, that's what I wanted because everything was so bland before that. I wanted them to just let go of all of these preconceived notions or conceptions of what this could be. And I wanted to be surprised and I was. Like every time I hit a wonder seed and a wonder effect happened, I was just like laughing joyously, like what the heck is going on? I don't care. I love this. I loved how like a lot of them were just like a one-time use, like one time only, and then you like never saw them again. Like that was so cool. Like, you just get this taste of it and you're like, that works so well for that moment and that moment only. So yeah, I thought that was just a wonderful part of this game, and I loved it so much.
Yeah, I feel like these are all really deserving options. Mine is altering the world with photographs from Viewfinder, which I continue to think is the most next-gen thing I experienced in a game this year, which is amazing when you look at all the other games and all the other incredible things that they did. And I don't know how they implemented this. I don't know how they tested this so that it's not just constantly breaking the game, but it was just like a part of your brain unlocked of, oh, I'm in this world where I can alter reality and take a picture of something and place it into the real world and give it depth and use that to get to a different place.
And it always worked, was the thing.
Right.
I don't know how they did that.
And then they did some amazing things where you would go through, like, oh, here's a photograph that has a different art style, and you place that down. And it's like, now you're in that art style that's all surrounded you. And
so incredible.
It's just a mind-blowing thing, which just made that game so unforgettable for me.
Yeah. Well,
next,
thinking about something that was not unforgettable.
Most forgotten game. So we had to do this category this year because there were so many games and the pace of the releases was so relentless. It was sadly easy for games to get forgotten.
Yeah, even the biggest games had like a very low shelf life, a fast
like
shelf
some
life.
games would come out and get maybe a weekend of people talking about it and playing it. Some games just got nothing, and were just completely swept under the rug. So this does not mean that these are bad games at all. These are just games that, for whatever reason, couldn't keep up with the pace, or maybe had a bad release date.
A lot of bad release dates.
Whatever it is. So, and ironically, perhaps the winners are so forgotten we forgot to put them down as nominees.
To put them on the
I don't
list.
know. These are the ones that we could come up with.
Yeah.
We have 8 nominees here.
Yeah.
Advance Wars 1+2, Starfield, Assassin's Creed Mirage, GoldenEye on Nintendo Switch Online, WarioWare Move It, Octopath Traveler 2, Bayonetta Origins, but remember that?
No.
And Diablo 4.
I have a great comment here from Dustin King who said, I like how Fire Emblem didn't even make the cut for Forgotten Game. Whoopsie. Fire Emblem Engage is probably what Dustin is referring to.
I feel like I've seen some continued conversation of Fire Emblem this year.
There was actually, that game also released at the very beginning of the year.
Did.
So we do have some recency bias here, I believe, in terms of like your memory just cannot go back that far.
Well, Bayonetta Origins came out very early too.
Honestly, don't remember.
I looked closely at the release calendar for these.
Yeah.
There were 3 that really dominated the responses here. Number 3, Bayonetta Origins. Number 2, Octopath Traveler 2. And number 1, Advance Wars 1+2. Oops, perhaps a game that Nintendo themselves forgot about in that long delay.
Yeah, that's right. The delay was kind of like a nail in the coffin for that poor game.
Yeah, that didn't help.
That did not help.
I think they had their
And then
hearts.
it was just like that drop that with no fanfare. It was just like, here's this game.
Yeah, their heart was in the right place for delaying it, but the reason that they delayed it is a thing that is still ongoing. So I think they found themselves in this weird position of, well, what do we do now? Can we never release this game?
Yeah.
So they kind of had to not make a big deal about it and just put it out there.
Right.
And sadly, it came and went.
It really, truly did.
It really did.
Really, truly did.
So that's a bummer.
Yeah.
And again, these are all really good games. And I mean, like WarioWare came out the week after Mario Wonder. Bad idea. Diablo 4 had like a big first couple weeks and then just completely lost its momentum.
Because a huge games came out like right afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler, we've talked so much about why this game got snubbed at the Game Awards, and this is one of the big reasons why. So, just a hard year, and we talked to people about this at Day of the Devs of like, this was a really hard year to put out a game because you really had to nail the release date and what you were doing leading up to that release date to get people to care. Not as easy as you might think.
No, probably the hardest year ever so far to do that, and that like announcement strategy was so important. And if you don't just nail it just right and just sort of cut through all of that distraction, you didn't have a shot in hell, unfortunately.
Your pick?
My pick is Diablo 4. Because you've made fun of me relentlessly for we really did. It was like that. It was like a one-day decision. It's like we were every night we were playing Diablo 4.
Right,
Literally
right.
every night. We were real gung-ho about it. We were playing like a couple hours every night. It was great. We had this group that we were playing with. It was awesome. And then it was like 24 hours later, I was like, this game's gone. I'm deleting it.
Harsh.
It was really hard. I had to do a Band-Aid rip because I had to move on to like all the other games. And I felt kind of bad for the people we were playing with because they weren't
ghosted them.
They weren't on
They didn't get an early code for Starfield.
They weren't on our relentless schedule. Like we have to because this is our job. So it was really funny because I was like, sorry guys, see you never. And I had to like ghost them. Yeah, it was really sad. Haven't talked to them since.
What? That's not true.
That's not true. I'm totally kidding.
My pick here is GoldenEye for Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh no.
Do you remember like how many years has the build up to this game coming out been of like, oh my god, we now have NSO, they added N64 to NSO, we can finally get GoldenEye, we can relive the golden days with the boys, doing
and
multiplayer GoldenEye. Figuratively, not literally, the boys.
Okay.
Hashtag the boys. And there was so much rejoicing when it came out.
Yeah.
And this was the literal...
It was like 24 hours.
One weekend, and we're out. We had one of our best 1UP Club Superstars Patreon meetups playing GoldenEye.
Unlike everybody 1-2 Switch, we actually had a good time.
We had an amazing time playing GoldenEye. And it just could not keep up. I think there's a few reasons for this. Like, so remember, the game also came out on Xbox, but they totally like
bungled the controls.
Well, it was a thing where the Xbox version had updated graphics, but no multiplayer. The Switch version had online multiplayer. The Switch version had online multiplayer, but nothing else. And the most borked controls.
No, so weird.
I had to spend 30 minutes
customizing
in the like hardware settings, remapping buttons to come up with a competent way to play GoldenEye.
There were guides on how to do that I had to like look up literally.
Unless you wanted to buy the N64 controller, which it's not available. It's $200 on eBay to play this game. Like, they did not do... And just imagine... Like, we know how much work had to go into getting, like, the rights. To re-get the rights. We got to negotiate this thing with Xbox now of how we can release this. I'm just sad around this, honestly, because of how much work and what this could have been. Like, there could still be people playing GoldenEye online if they had just done a few things differently to release this in a different way.
Right. It's really unfortunate.
It's just a bummer.
Yeah.
So
now it's too late.
Now we can wait another 8 years for this to be the little drip feed on the Switch 2 NSO.
Oh, God.
And hopefully not remap some buttons.
Wow.
That one hurts. That one hurts. More so than some of these other ones, which I could always go back and play more Advance Wars.
Or Diablo 4.
Or any of these things. Right. Deep breath. Next one is Best Update or DLC.
Yeah.
And our nominees are Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, Dead Cells Return to Castlevania, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Rayman in the Phantom Show.
Wow.
Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. They had just a lot of DLC, so we just lumped it all in there. Or the Baldur's Gate 3 Epilogue, which I spoke so much about on last week's episode. Now, we had our worst omission of all these nominees. It was pointed out to us many times. We made a mistake on this one.
Oh.
Please read the comment.
Selfco says, very surprised that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed isn't an option for Best DLC. That would have been my pick.
File that under oops.
Just like missile.
File that under nobody's perfect, or file that under blame Krysta.
Hey!
You can pick which one you'd like to file that under.
Nobody's nerfing again? Once more? Sorry.
I'm not sure it would have mattered, though, because we had another overwhelming win here. Not for Cyberpunk 2077, which came in second place at 30%. Pretty big, 30%'s a lot.
Good, yeah.
But 55% voted for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. This was, of course, year 2, the final year of the Booster Course Pass.
Yeah.
So many great new courses added. This was my pick as well.
This is my pick as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Unanimous.
What a great way to wrap up Mario Kart 8. You know what I mean? Like, we did that whole retrospective on looking back at the incredible 10 years of this game and what it started as and then what it became for Nintendo. It's really amazing, and I think these booster course passes are just, like, such a cool way to extend the life of this game. And, yeah, and again, this year was the last one just a few weeks ago, and it was just a great way to wrap up this game.
Yeah, I mean, it just showed how you could extend Mario Kart forever. It was fun to get a taste of the Mario Kart Tour tracks, which before then, like, I hadn't really checked out. And unlike, our last category where these things kind of came and went, like, surprisingly, these did have a pretty good life. I mean, there's still a lot of people just playing Mario Kart at all times. The game is so big, but these felt like pretty big moments. Every
time I went back.
Within the community at large, like, everybody wanted to try these out and play them online and put them through the paces and do their own little pecking order of, like, well, this was cool, this was not.
Yeah.
Like, this, and now Mario Kart 8 is just this incredible package.
Yeah.
And it was already super great to begin with.
It's like a next caliber now, though, so I can't wait to see the future for this franchise, but I think the foundation that was set with 10 years of Mario Kart 8 is extremely strong, so it's going to be cool to see where they go from here.
I extolled the virtues of the Baldur's Gate 3 epilogue last week. Should have been in the game, so I can't honor it as being the best update when it kind of should have been in the main game. Cyberpunk, sadly,
we haven't played it yet. Is the thing.
One of the things that I just couldn't get to this year. I'm gonna get to. I will do this over the Christmas break.
Yes, exactly.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay, our next two categories, I might need to undo this tie a little bit because things might get a little hot under the collar here.
I'm gonna fan myself.
So our next two categories, let me just set the table here. We have Hottie of the Year, which is a new category, which you insisted upon.
We need to have this category every year.
Followed by Bodie, a.k.a. Butt of the Year, followed by our newest inductee into the Bodie Hall of Fame.
Remember last year we inducted Bayonetta into the Bodie Hall of Fame.
An incredible first inductee.
Yes, so deserving
oh my goodness.
of the Bodie Hall of Fame.
True icon.
ButtCon.
And then we get back to some more. The one after that is best 100-hour RPG. How did we come up with the order of this?
So hot.
We just needed something in the middle.
Yes.
Just to
liven it up a bit.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Hottie of the year.
Hottie of the year. You really dominated the nominees for this. We have
so many hotties this year.
Kiryu from Like a Dragon Gaiden.
Hot.
Ganondorf.
Ooh, Daddy Ganondorf.
From The Legend of Zelda. Tears of the Kingdom. You're just muttering to yourself.
Yeah.
We have Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. This is your your one contribution.
The statues of Shar from Baldur's Gate 3 as well.
I looked this up though, and I was like, oh.
We'll talk about this later. Clive from Final Fantasy 16 and Sid from Final Fantasy 16. Wow.
Yum.
What a year.
What a delicious snack.
We have a comment.
I wanted to just have you explain yourself with statues of Shar, because maybe a lot of people don't know what this is.
So,
everything else I think is pretty self-explanatory.
We'll do this out of order. This is my one nominee. This is my winner. Let me say this. So there was a time in the 80s where people were like making movies about falling in love with a mannequin.
Oh yeah, there was a movie called Mannequin.
And it was like, oh my god, this mannequin is so hot. Like, I'm gonna imagine that this mannequin came to life and I'm gonna like marry this mannequin. And like, that's kind of gone out of style.
Yeah.
But I kind of had that moment with these statues. So there's like a dungeon, there's like a whole religion around this deity called Shar.
Okay.
And one of the dungeons you go into is like it's like dedicated to Shar. And they have these statues everywhere that just had me tied into knots.
Okay.
Like, I barely got through this dungeon because like I was just getting distracted.
Yes.
And in the end, a whopping, how many people voted for this? Oh, it's like so small. I think there was like maybe 5 people. 10. We got into double digits.
Oh,
10
wow.
10 people voted.
Wonderful.
Those 10 people, I want to shake their hands because they know what's up. But please, take it away for the rest of this.
I mean, that's all I wanted you to explain yourself.
Okay.
Because the rest of the people on this...
You know how much I talked about these statues.
You really talk my ear off, which is fine. It's good for you. But the rest of the people that we've nominated in this category, I think is very self-explanatory.
Right.
So why don't you just go ahead and read the top 3.
Top 3, Sid from Final Fantasy, 8.6%.
Oh, yeah.
Clive, 13.2%.
Yes. Sid and Clive are pretty hot.
And then, boom, Ganondorf, 61.7%. Wow. Pow. Take that. That was...
in your face hot. Yeah.
Something. Now, we just had Reggie reconfirm Link's hotness, but Link was not nominated.
Link was not nominated.
Explain this.
Link?
As the person who really was the brainchild.
Link was not nominated. That's true. Link, I feel like, is a different...
You try and fumble through this explanation.
He cannot stand up to this kind of hotness.
Okay.
It's a different kind of hot. More of a...
boy
next door, white knight kind of hot. Not the Ganondorf.
Not the Peter Parker type.
Not that kind of hot.
I really like Sid. I've said before, I really like Sid in this
deep
category.
Voice.
Yeah.
That just, he's always like smoking
but
for some
Kiryu,
reason.
Kiryu
is really hot.
I do feel like Kiryu is the hottest character in video games, like bar none. Just ongoing.
Ongoing, pretty
Most
hot.
ongoing hot character.
Maybe we should
like Jeff Keighley has best ongoing game, like best ongoing
hotness.
Most ongoing hotness. I think Kiryu has that on lock.
Because Kiryu then shows up later and he's still freaking hot.
Right. I mean, we've saw like this is like a 40-year arc for Kiryu now. He looks
just freaking hot.
Looks exactly the same.
Well, he's a video game character, so yes.
No, he's real.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna meet him.
He's real.
But Ganondorf, though, shocked the world when we got our new look at Ganondorf. I just got my Ganondorf amiibo. I'm gonna bring that in.
Bring him in so you can I can ogle him.
Admire / oogle that.
Yes, I would love to. Ganondorf is obviously my pick as well because I was tied into knots when the first artwork of Ganondorf was revealed with the pose and the muscles. Right. I was just like, oh, we're going here now for okay. I'm into it.
We had to have the developers sheepishly explain
the hotness
themselves, explain why break down why he is hot.
Why he is hot. Yes, exactly.
That's been great.
It was really cool, to get this kind of response for Ganondorf, because I really hope that we do see, beyond him being extremely hot, like I would love to just know more about Ganondorf. What an interesting character. We got a little glimpse into Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom, I think more so than ever. And I can't wait to learn more about Ganondorf. How'd you get so hot? Tell us. We want to know. We want to know.
Too busy being evil to tell you about that.
And yeah, you got to have a bad boy, okay? That's what you need for hotness. We have a comment from Garth the Wolf.
Yes.
These categories are slaying me. But my hottie of the year definitely goes to Sid.
Nice.
The moment I saw that Grizzle's face and heard that gravelly voice, I melted. Yes, I agree. I'd be swiping a hard right on his Tinder profile. I agree. Very, very
wonderful. Good. All right.
Moving on.
Bodie. Here we go. Cue the music. Play the music. Brick House by the Commodores. Play the music, please.
Brick House.
Nominees are Ryoma from Like a Dragon Ishin. If you don't know, that's basically Kiryu.
Yes, it's Kiryu.
Back in time.
Right.
Right.
And you get a full moon view.
Well, we don't need to explain every single one of these.
I'm just saying, this is a very, you know what you're looking at.
We have Venom from Spider-Man 2, perhaps the most confusing of these.
Venom is caked up, though.
We had to nominate literally everyone in Street Fighter 6.
I think we had another category last year that was literally everyone from Xenoblade Chronicles. But this is that category.
We have WarioWare Move It, the game, not just a character. The whole game.
The whole game is very butt-focused.
Butt-oriented.
Butt-oriented.
We have Clive Rosfield from Final Fantasy 16. And finally, we have Elephant Mario from Super Mario Brothers.
Or any of the elephant characters,
Wonder.
I suppose.
Well, it says Elephant Mario.
It is Elephant.
It's Elephant Mario.
Okay, fine.
Is the nominee.
Remember Elephant Mario squeezing through that tiny door and doing that little
And Bowser, well, I guess that was Elephant Peach. Yeah. Bowser just being shocked at what he was.
The flowers just kept getting
before his eyes.
Bigger and bigger and bigger. But yes, very good. Very good selection of Bodie this year.
The top three is really more like a top two. The top two dominated the votes, but the top three, WarioWare Move It got 10% about. Literally everyone in Street Fighter 6 got 29%. And pulling it out, the winner. Congratulations to Elephant Mario. You're a Bodie winner.
Wow.
Wow. Incredible stuff.
That door shake did it in for everybody.
I mean, there have been debates over the year about Mario's butt in different games and different developers' visions for Mario.
In the movie Elephant Mario, in the Mario movie, we were all concerned about Mario's butt because it looked really flat.
Because in some games, it's right there and in all its glory, and then in the movie, we were worried it was not. Maybe that was the Pratt seeping through, but no.
But then the butt was fixed later on.
Well, they got those notes back to Chris Melodondri, ASAMP.
Immediately fixed it.
The community feedback. So
yeah.
This is wonderful. This is a great celebration. For us this year, congratulations, Mario. Elephant Mario.
Congratulations, Mario. Great. Again, so adorable, so cute.
Might be the best thing about Elephant Mario in the end.
Oh, ouch. What is your pick?
No, we need your pick first.
My pick is Ryoma. Because again,
in that thumbnail.
I had a moment.
You're having beads of sweat coming down as you watch him emerge from this bathhouse.
I had a real moment with this because we were playing this game at a preview event. Okay, so there was other people around, and we were just kind of going through the section of the game. Obviously, it was kind of a bit, sort of open. You can do whatever you want. One of the little sequences you can do is you basically are being chased out of a bathhouse. So you're naked.
But this man enjoys bath in peace.
Well, I hope that he could, but he was being chased. So you run through the streets of old Kyoto, basically, with your butt just
out
in the open air. And it was a long time for me to look at this butt.
Lots of process there.
I was a little shocked. There's video footage of me being fanned by you as I was
I had the fan. They gave me the fan. They knew why.
You a fan
they knew why we would need it.
Right. And that butt is ingrained in my brain now. I cannot unsee it ever again. So that's why I picked Ryoma.
We are now inducting the newest member of the Bodie Hall of Fame.
But you didn't pick.
Oh, excuse me. Yes. I'm voting for literally everyone in Street Fighter 6.
I see. Okay.
Truly distracted me as I played that game. Probably hurt my win-loss category. Yes.
And I have to read WG Grizzy's comment about butts.
Oh, good.
It's very important. Glad to see Octopath getting some justice in the K&K polls, much like Xenoblade 3 did last year. While I obviously didn't expect anything from Raincoat to have made it since, I'm the only one in the community that has even played it. There's a line in there where Fubuki mentions the guards at her mansion would call her dummy thick behind her back.
Great localization.
And she didn't know what it meant. And for that alone, I would have voted for her, for Bodie, for such a funny line.
Perfect.
There we go.
That's why we get these community
Raincoat.
comments. We can't play everything.
Apparently there's a butt moment in Raincoat.
Add that to my backlog.
Did not know that.
But yes,
all right.
It is time to induct a new member of the Bodie Hall of Fame. Only 2 of these people so far.
Yes.
We have Bayonetta, and we are now inducting Wario! Congratulations, Wario.
Butt is legendary.
You were a butt icon
yes.
throughout the years for various reasons, which we will not go into detail on.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen with your butt. Good for you. Your butt is very useful sometimes.
Yes.
And very, it's just there.
I mean, when the butt can have an impact on gameplay, we have to take it very seriously.
Very seriously.
We have to take a clinical look at it. Scientific, understand why Wario is the newest inductee. So get the chisels out because we're putting that on the new Bodie Mount Rushmore next to Bayonetta.
Instead of like the statues of Char, there's like a statue of Bayonetta and a statue of Wario doing like a butt thing. I love it. I love it.
Doing a butt thing, yes.
Doing a butt thing.
Wonderful. I love it. We really went, this is the thing, we went down to the wire on this.
Yeah.
Like
we decided like an hour ago.
We had a handful of other options that over the weekend we could not agree on.
I know, we really...
Sending just vitriolic text messages. No, it needs to be this. No, it needs to be that.
Butts are very important to us.
But then when we came in, we looked at each other and we said,
we
Wario.
Just knew.
We knew.
There was a moment.
We got past it and it was Wario.
Okay.
Great.
Now to get serious
All right.
again.
Best 100-hour RPG. This is kind of a joke because we joke that every game this year is a 100-hour RPG.
Yeah.
Kind of was true. The nominees are Hogwarts Legacy, Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Octopath Traveler 2, and Diablo 4. The winner, boom, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Sure.
Not surprised. Some debate over whether this was an RPG.
This is another thing where it's like action, adventure,
as
blah.
the genres blend, who can keep track anymore? Mm-hmm. But yes, let's hope for a little bit more variety in our big games next year.
Yes.
Best remake.
Your pick?
Oh.
What's going on?
I'm picking Baldur's Gate.
I'm going to pick Baldur's Gate 2.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't finish it because it was really long.
Are you going to get back to this game?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I definitely am.
Good. Best remake. What a year for remakes.
Oh my gosh,
man.
Right? When a remake gets nominated for Game of the Year, you know it's a good year for remakes.
This was an incredible year for remakes. I love the remakes. They are truly have a valuable place in this industry and the games that I like to play now. And I'm so glad that we had enough that we could do a full category.
Right. And if you missed a game in your childhood, what a great thing to have you be able to experience it again. Right?
So we have Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Metroid Prime Remastered, Ghost Trick, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario RPG, and Like a Dragon Ishin.
Wow.
6 incredible games with 6 incredible remakes.
Yes.
All of these, really revitalized these games. There were 3 games that really capitalized the vote. Resident Evil 4 came in third at 22%. Super Mario RPG came in second at 33%, and just 1 percentage point more. The winner, Metroid Prime Remastered.
Wow, 1 percentage more.
This was really close. Two votes separated. Wow. The winner and the loser. Really? Somebody's kicking themselves because it could have been me.
Should have cast your vote.
We need a recount.
That's incredible. Yeah, that was a cool shadow drop. Metroid Prime Remastered, rumored for so long.
That surprised all of us, yeah.
Surprised all of us. Exciting stuff. We streamed this game. It was really fun to go back to this, and it was wonderful. So, yeah.
It's amazing how, I mean, yes, it was nice for all of these games to get a fresh coat of paint and to, get touched up in some places. All these games still hold up so well.
It really does.
And Metroid Prime Remastered still feels very ahead of the times now.
Yes.
20 years later, I don't know how
they did
that is possible.
Right.
Your pick.
Ghost Trick is my pick. Ghost Trick is a game that I missed.
Didn't forget that one.
There's a couple of games that I did. This is, playing the remake, like I was saying, is my first time playing a Super Mario RPG. Is another one of those games. And it's great that we have a chance to do that now. I'm sure there's lots of people that are playing some of these games for the first time, and it's so cool to be able to experience it in these like remastered versions. But yeah, Ghost Trick was a game that I missed, and I was just completely fell for this game. It was amazing. And now I know what the hype was all about, because everyone is always telling me, like, how come you haven't played this game yet? It's so amazing. But what a surprise, and so glad that I was able to finally experience this one.
Yeah. My pick is Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
And, if you had asked me maybe 10 years ago what my 10 favorite games ever are, I would have absolutely had that on the list. But over the years, I've kind of had some questions about that, of like, oh, does that game still hold up? I played the Switch version when they just did a very bare bones re-release, and I was like, maybe this game isn't holding up the way I thought it did. But then this came around, and it slammed the door shut on that. Of like, no, this game is still absolutely incredible.
Yeah, one of the best games of all time.
I'm not the biggest Resident Evil fan, but there's just something about this one that is
it hits.
A masterpiece. And I was really happy that that game still could make me feel that way.
And I really like this version of Resident Evil. The other ones are a little bit too scary for me. And this one, you just feel... You're still scared, but you're very capable as Leon. And I love that.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're in the home stretch now. We have 3 categories to go, and then our top 10 games of the year list. Next 2 categories are about us.
Oh,
That's
boy,
fun.
us.
We have the Best Kit and Krysta podcast episode. The nominees are Honest Feelings After Reuniting with Miyamoto, Is Tears of the Kingdom Meeting Our Expectations, Mystery Guest Reveals Nintendo Minute Secrets, that was producer Stephanie, Shigeru Miyamoto's Pikmin Obsession Explained, Kit's Sonic the Hedgehog Trauma Finally Revealed, and Reunited and Spilling Secrets with our Nintendo coworkers.
Oh, boy.
All great episodes.
All great episodes.
All incredible.
I would say every single one of our episodes are my favorite.
True.
So there you go.
The top 3. Number 3 is Mystery Guest Reveals Nintendo Minute Secrets. That's producer Stephanie.
Yes.
Number 2
Dropping the tea.
is our Sonic Week episode, my Sonic the Hedgehog Trauma, finally revealed. And the winner, just a few weeks ago, this happened. Reunited and Spilling Secrets with our Nintendo coworkers.
Wow!
Amazing.
That was my winner, too.
Really?
It was.
Wow.
It was just something that I wanted to do for so long. And it also was tied into the incredible moment of moving into our new dedicated studio space. And the only reason we can do episodes like the one that we did with our old Nintendo coworkers is because we have this new space. And it just felt like this moment where we grew to a new level.
Right.
We leveled up. I mean, we love our Nintendo coworkers. They're more than coworkers. They are very good friends of ours. So having a chance to just kind of sit down and hang out is just wonderful.
My winner is not
the
Sonic Week episode.
Oh, okay. Still traumatized.
Although that was a great episode, and Katie was a wonderful helper to get that off my chest.
Yes.
But my pick here is the Honest Feelings After Reuniting with Miyamoto at the Mario movie premiere. I just have such fond feelings of all the things we did around the Mario movie.
Yes.
And going to that premiere is something I didn't expect to have happen. When we got invited, I was sure that Nintendo would go through that list of who the studio wanted to invite and said, oh no,
not
delete.
You guys, and delete
and
us.
that we would get uninvited. But we went, we had a great time, we saw the movie, we reunited with a lot of people like Doug Bowser, who we hadn't seen in a long time. And then we had this incredible moment at the after party where we saw Miyamoto. So just recounting all of these incredible things happening one after the other through this podcast was very special.
It was very special. And it was a really unexpected thing to happen. So
yes.
Yes.
Best Super Kitten Krysta 64 episode.
Oh.
We did more of a vlog focus with Super Kitten Krysta 64 this year. So we got out, we did some stuff.
We're out and about.
Here are the 6 nominees. Mario Movie Premiere Vlog. Finding Tears of the Kingdom's Hyrule in Real Life. Super Nintendo World Full Park Tour. Recreating food from Super Nintendo World. Checking out the video game scene in China and checking out the video game scene in Taiwan. We had to include both of those, the solo,
the solo vlogs,
international travel vlogs
fun.
That we had.
Yes.
And let's see. Again, there were 3 that stood out. Number 3 was recreating food from Super Nintendo World.
Mm-hmm. That was a fun one.
Number 2 was the Mario Movie Premiere Vlog. And big number 1 was the Super Nintendo World Full Park Tour.
Wow.
Yes.
And we have a comment from Tug's Puppy Bear. I know it doesn't strictly qualify, but my favorite game moment of the year was being lucky enough to visit Super Nintendo World in Hollywood on the 3rd day of its soft open. The park had that new park smell and was pristine and beautiful. Everything was working and there was plenty of room and space. Even Mario Kart was running the Japanese language.
Was working.
It's very important to note that. Even Mario Kart was running the Japanese language software as the English version hadn't been loaded in yet.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
That's so cool. As both a fan of games and theme parks, I'm keenly aware of how rare a soft opening, let alone a Nintendo soft opening is, and can't help but wonder if there was one of my big personal lucky wins in my life. The experience was magical, the food was good for a theme park, and I genuinely felt like Nintendo nailed the theme park experience better than I could have hoped. It was hard to believe this year was the first of Super Nintendo World in North America.
Great comment. My gosh.
Great comment, and what a cool experience to go visit during the soft opening. My personal pick for this is the movie premiere vlog for all the reasons that you had just said. I was just shocked that we were even invited and ended up getting a chance to go to this incredible event. I've never been to a movie premiere before. I've never been to an after party for a big movie premiere before, and it was like the most incredible after party movie premiere experience ever. Obviously, it was really fun to come out of that feeling good about the movie as well. I think we had so many people that were, experiencing that moment with us. We had Andre sitting right behind us, and I could hear people laughing, and just like everybody was just filled with joy at the end of that movie. And that was just like the best part of that whole experience was that the movie was good and we had a great time and we got to see so many people and it was such a fun night.
My pick is what won here, the Super Nintendo World Full Park Tour. Just so I feel very special to be able to document that trip.
Yeah.
Where, again, I'll keep saying this, like, people seem to not have as good a time as we did when we went. We had kind of the perfect storm of events and planning and timing on our side to really have a perfect day. Like you could call this video like a perfect day at Super Nintendo World because that's what it was.
It really was.
It was perfection.
We're so lucky. Yeah.
And I feel like we showed everything that the park had to offer. We really dug into some of the things that were under the surface that are not obvious and had such a great time with that. So that is my pick.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a fun little detail here in the results also. Our two checking out the video game scene in China and Taiwan, they both have the same number of votes, which I think is very sweet and nice.
Very nice.
Yes. Not winners, but winners in our hearts.
Yes.
AKA losers.
Oh. All right.
The big moment is here. No losers here.
The big moment is here.
Game of the year. For this, we have... How many nominees? We have 8? No, we have 10.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We
Yes,
have 10
categories.
nominees.
Or 10 nominees, sorry.
Yes. For this incredible year of games. And the nominees are, for Game of the Year, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2, Sea of Stars, Pikmin 4, Octopath Traveler 2, Final Fantasy 16, Resident Evil 4, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Wow. What a year, guys.
Man.
What a year. I'm going to read these 2 comments and then you're going to give us the top 3?
All right.
Okay. Topher Schmofer says, I don't know if I've ever 100%ed a game ever, but Pikmin 4 and Mario Wonder just really hit different this year, and now I did it twice. Really just speaks to the creativity and love put into both titles. I only have one vote, so it goes to Pikmin. I die for Ochi. We all would. Honestly, we all would. Jonathan Higgins. Genuinely fun categories in this. Kudos to y'all. I'm honestly not sure what my goatee is. Two of my biggest surprises came in the form of the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Dream Team. Games that Sonic Team proper had no real hand in, but Pikmin 4 is what really blew me away. From being lukewarm on the series at best to downloading the demo on a whim, impulse buying, and spending 50 hours 100%ing everything. Gosh, what a thrill. Wow!
A lot of heat for Pikmin 4 here in these comments.
Yeah.
Could that be the winner? Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, that would have been a good one for best surprise.
Surprise, yeah.
Okay.
I kind of forgot about that one. Whoops.
Our top 3. Starting with number 3.
Okay.
Build some suspense here.
Yes?
Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Oh, wow.
Getting 11.6%
okay.
of the vote.
Wow.
Number 2. Baldur's Gate 3.
Wow.
Getting 12.7% of the vote. Now, again, we have a lot of nominees, so the percentage gets spread out a lot more.
Yeah.
But it don't matter, because our winner got over 50% of the vote. Congratulations to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the Kit and Krysta Game of the Year.
Wow! That's a huge percentage win.
That's amazing.
I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that Pikmin wasn't higher here because there's so many people in our community that absolutely love Pikmin 4.
Pikmin came in with 7%
oh, wow.
of the vote.
So this is one of those, like, vocal minorities. Ish.
I mean, it's just hard. There were so many great games, and especially at the top, like the top kind of, 10% of those were just so amazing, like all-time classics. I did go back and look at like what was, our nominees for Game of the Year last year. Mm-hmm. This was definitely a stronger year. I mean, those games were great too, but like these are like, man, this was just
tough.
Hit after hit after hit.
Yes, I struggled hardcore with putting together my final list of 10. Like really hard.
Yeah.
I had a lot of like, I had a lot of Sophie's Choice moments.
It came fairly easily to me actually this year.
Yeah.
But
it did not come easily to me at all.
How do you want to do this? Do you want to share your full top 10, or do we want to do each 10, then each 9? What do you want?
Let's do our full top 10.
All right. Please.
And then we still have to do best moment.
Yes.
Which is something that is not votable, but just our top moments
of
the year.
Right.
So anyhow, my top 10, starting from 10. Dordogne. Number 9, Hogwarts Legacy. Number 8, Ghost Trick. Number 7, Final Fantasy 16. Number 6, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Number 5, Sea of Stars. Number 4, Baldur's Gate. Number 3, Alan Wake. Number 2, Tears of the Kingdom.
Which means
my game of the year is Spider-Man 2.
Wow!
Yes.
Oh
I struggled.
Gosh.
But I will tell you why, after you review your list, I'll tell you why I picked Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
And not Tears of the Kingdom.
Ooh. Still reeling from this revelation.
The suspense.
Oh my gosh. My top 10. But don't look at it.
Okay.
Let me count this down. Just staring right at my screen
I'm
here.
going to close my eyes.
Number 10, we have a Highland song.
Oh,
I was serious about not letting this happen again.
Eked it in there.
The spirit of Gator Game lives on in a Highland song. Number 9, Dordogne.
Oh.
Number 8, Like a Dragon Ishin. Oh. Number 7, Resident Evil 4. Oh. Number 6, Pikmin 4. Number 5, Viewfinder.
Oh, it's very high.
Number 4, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Number 3, Spider-Man 2. Oh. Number 2, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And number 1 is Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes!
Why are you saying yes?
Because I really thought that you would struggle between Baldur's Gate and Tears of the Kingdom.
Well,
I wasn't sure which one you would go
So
with.
actually, that top three, all three of those, I really was like, this kind of interchangeable. Like
it's like depending on what game, what kind of
I
day.
have those like very clear. Like these
Yeah.
were the three best games of the year.
Yes,
so
I
that
agree.
was. But coming up with the 10 was easy, but then I was like, gosh, the ordering of these three is really hard.
Ask me like tomorrow and I might change my mind and put another game
Right.
in number one spot.
Right.
I agree. Like there are such different games too. My top three: Spider-Man, Tears of the Kingdom, Alan Wake. It's like like I might be in a different mood and I might say a different thing.
Right.
But
right.
it was hard. It was hard to do that. It was very hard to like categorize those top three.
Okay.
But so the reason why, I have played Tears of the Kingdom more than any game this year. I have put over 200 hours into this game. I looked last night. It was like 210 hours.
And aside from Koroks, you did everything.
And aside from Koroks, I did everything. And I thought about this for a really long time. It's like, I must have loved this game to have played it so much. And I absolutely did. There was moments of the game that were just absolutely amazing and brought me to tears, and I just loved everything about, the exploration, like we talked about a lot when we were playing this game, like with the, I 100%ed the maps for the depths, the sky, and Hyrule, and I really loved, all of that. But there was one thing that kept, like, nagging at me, and that was every moment of that 200 hours, was it fun? Like, did I really love every single moment of that game? And I couldn't definitively say yes, because there were moments where, like, the Ultra Hand stuff really frustrated me. That's actually where this game, like, fell a little bit for me. Is like,
really?
I felt very, like, I was, like, frustrated by some of that stuff. And I was, like, I felt very inadequate looking at people's Ultra Hand builds online, and yeah, like that video really did show like my struggle with these mechanics, and I really truly had a hard time with it. And those moments, it was not that fun to play that game.
Okay.
And then I thought about some of the other games, I played this year, and I, was thinking about Spider-Man and how like every single moment of that game, a much shorter game, obviously is only like 25 hours or whatever that I spent playing that game. But there was not a single moment where I didn't have fun. And it was really important to me. Like, I was laughing. I was just like, I felt so good. The combat, like everything about that game just felt amazing. Beginning to end, every single moment was amazing. And I think that's what made me pick this over Tears of the Kingdom, is that like I truly, genuinely had fun throughout the entire experience of Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I was really shocked by Spider-Man 2. And remember, this came out the same day. Was it the same day as Mario Wonder?
Yes.
It was like, or it was close to the same day.
I beat Mario Wonder in like 2 days,
Right.
and then I started this game.
And I of course did Mario Wonder first and loved that. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll check out this Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And I was just so blown away.
Yeah.
And I agree with everything that you said. And I think, this to me also had the best kind of combat in a game this year, which is not what I would have expected
combat was
from
amazing.
a Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Like, and it may be like the best combat in like that type of game,
like ever.
Maybe I've ever played. There's just so many ways you can approach it, and so many things you could do. And the story we talked about is so good. It's really like the total package of game. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. Like I talked about this in the spoiler cast of my feelings of this versus Breath of the Wild, and I just feel like they definitely added more in this game.
Yeah.
But I felt some of it was uneven.
Yeah.
In ways that I never felt in Breath of the Wild, whereas like everything in that was incredible. So
yeah, I agree.
The depths never clicked with me. I would go down there and be like, I'm going back up, because I couldn't find something that really
motivated
compelled
you to
me to keep going and doing stuff. I had a different thing with Ultra Hand, which was the batteries. Yes. It was like the game made this great mechanic, but then kind of didn't want you to take full advantage of it.
Yeah, and you had to dupe. Where did the duping? Remember
and even after I duped for hours and I got the full batteries, like I still felt like there were limitations. Like when I made my little glider, remember the glider that everybody made? And I was like, this sucks that I have this battery, like stopping me from exploring the way that I want to when I've gone to this trouble of duping.
Yeah. I couldn't even build the glider well. Like, I was so bad at it that it just never functioned for me.
Right, and that was like the difference between Baldur's Gate and Zelda was like Tears of the Kingdom said that they wanted you to do anything.
Yeah.
But they put these limitations in place, whereas Baldur's Gate was really like backing it up of like, no, really
like,
do it.
Literally do
really
anything.
do anything. Like you might break the game, but like you can do it.
Yeah.
And that was truly exciting. And I keep going back to that story I told where like I was in this cemetery and this girl was like, bring my brother back to life. And I popped like a revitalizing potion and all the things in the cemetery came back to life. It's like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah.
There were just so many moments like that where and I can't even believe like how little of that game I scratched the surface of. Also, I'll say like that game's in 3 acts.
Right.
The first act of that game is the best time I had with any game this year.
The first act of that game is incredible.
The first act of that game is perfect. Yeah. And I don't know how often I can replay that full game because it's so long, but I can see myself replaying that first act again and again. And it's like, 15 hours long or whatever. And making new characters and trying new things and going down different story paths.
You had some interesting story choices in that first half that first act that really set you up for the next 2 acts that you could change up and see if something like a different result happens, which would be really fun.
And then finally, it did open my eyes to this whole new world of Dungeons and Dragons, which I had kind of a dated view of, like, oh, that's like this kind of like hokey thing, like from the 80s.
Something that's so inaccessible.
But even just like the whole like image I had in my mind of it was this kind of tacky and like onward to adventure kind of like, thing. But it really felt very modern and dangerous and sexy in all these ways that like I did not expect it to. So, and like I fell so down that rabbit hole of like I bought so many D&D books and watched so many D&D videos.
Totally.
So I really appreciate that it like that's always great when a game can open your mind to something that is in the real world that is like an extension of it.
Yeah, it was just like such an impressive thing for Larian to do something like this, where it was like even this genre, this type of game, feels like a little bit inaccessible, I think, to a lot of people. Like someone that doesn't have a history of playing Dungeons and Dragons, that don't know, how to play this kind of game. Like they could have done so many things wrong where they would just turn you off. But it was the complete opposite, where like even me, I'm like a total noob when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I was completely sucked in. Like I totally felt like, oh yeah, I get it. This is like really fun.
Right.
And just that, is super impressive, and then that they were able to pull that all off. And yeah, I feel a little bit bad because I was able to give this game like more of my time. So I want to go back to it because I think it probably move higher up in my list if I did that. But it was just truly incredible that like this kind of game could win Game of the Year and become like a thing, So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
What a year.
What a year.
We have one more thing, though. We have to do our best moment.
Best moment.
And this was not something people could vote on because it's just a thing that happened in a game this year that we wanted to recognize.
Oh, in a game?
Or whatever. Whatever it is.
Oh,
it's a
mine
moment.
Is not in a game.
In
mine,
time.
Mine is not in a game. Yeah.
Mine is from a game. Yours may not be. That's fine. But this is the little cherry on top.
Okay, you go first.
Mine is getting the Master Sword in Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, yes, that was pretty
which I imagine several other people in our community have this same thing as their best moment from a game this year. It was just really something that truly surprised me and shocked me in some ways.
Yeah.
I will stay out of the spoiler zone for this because I'm sure there's still some people who have not done this yet, but
yes,
I never would have imagined
that was the way.
This sequence of events would lead to you getting the Master Sword in the way that you do. And of course they do it in this completely like over-the-top, awe-inspiring way that just makes you feel incredible.
Yes, I agree. Master Sword was one of the coolest things that happened this year. Mine is not from a game. Mine is the first time laying eyes on Super Nintendo World.
Oh, yes.
Like that moment.
Yeah, that was great.
You see that moment a lot. A lot of people captured this moment where you go through that pipe and then the world
Yeah.
sort of is just opened in front of you, and it just, what an incredible moment that was, just being able to feel completely immersed in this real life game world that we're so familiar with it, you know, like we know what a Mario world looks like, probably like the back of our hand, like we just know it. And to see that brought to life like that was absolutely incredible. And yeah, I'm so glad that this thing exists, and sounds like they're, you know, adding more stuff to it, especially the Japan one. So I'm happy that we have this now, and people can experience it too.
Yeah. Incredible, incredible year. What a joy it's been to celebrate it with you and all of our community.
Yes, of course. It was so great. I can't, this is one of my favorite episodes of the year, is like looking back on, you know, what all happened and what an incredible year it was. So yes, thank you all for voting and sharing all of your thoughts about all the cool games and game related things you guys all did. It was just wonderful to share all those moments with you guys.
Yeah. In 2024, I think will be a great year. I think it'll be a different year.
Yes.
But we can start to turn our attention to that in the coming weeks.
I know.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of question marks around what is going to happen in 2024. I'm here for all of it. I'm so excited. Yeah, but this is a wrap on 2023 Game of the Year. All right, let's shout out some wonderful superstars, shall we?
Let's do it.
Aaron Hash,
Ben Eichhorn,
Maru Mayhem,
Eigenverse,
Kiss My Flapjack,
Mike Jen,
Roy Eschke,
Switching It Up, _
Safazon,
VGM Life,
Link, the hero of wins,
Angela Bycrofton or Pig Molly,
Thomas O'Rourke,
Kyle LaBeouf,
Roberto Nieves,
Frederick Ulf Conradson,
Andrew Uhas,
Chili,
Bruce Dash.
and Rain Tech.
Yay! All right, One Up Club members, time to graduate. Here we go. Aaron Burgundy,
Ale Alejandro,
Astro Death,
Awesome 46,
Bad Moon Horizon,
Ben GB,
Blue Yellow Gray,
Bookem Dano,
Bookishly Fab,
Brooke Obscura,
Brovac Novak,
Cameron,
Chelly Squirrel,
Christopher Lay,
Captain Alex,
Crimcat,
Sea Roper 17,
Cynical Squid,
Dachshund,
Doinko,
Dolce,
Dino Punch,
Elite Peach,
Espars 50,
Fart Free 69,
Fairbound,
Fernie and Jess Forever,
Fox Deployed,
Garrett Holfish,
Garth the Wolf,
Gartooth,
G-Sun 101,
Heroic,
Iris Marin,
Jay Rando,
Jabroni Jones,
Jeffrey Hernandez,
Jerry 92602,
Jesse Hernandez,
John Responte,
Jonathan Rowe,
Jordan Collette,
Jordan Hemmerly,
Juji Fruit,
Just Camtro,
Justin Lemminger,
Kawa 2796,
Keith Kwan,
Kevin Delane,
Kilo Kibo,
Krista Roddy Kid,
Christopia Party With Me,
Kyle Gamer Berry Rookie,
Kyle Kretzer,
Linnell Stickman,
Lazy Cat for Coffee,
Lex,
Lit,
Macho Potato,
Mad Dog 5981,
Magnificent Easy G plus Callie Marie,
Marky Man 64,
Mario Man 392,
Mecha Dragon 101,
Medallion 2889,
Megan,
Michael Cravens,
Mikey,
Motomania,
Mr. Andy Palm,
Mr. Beans and Dip,
MSM Pokegamer,
My Tran,
Nasir,
Nathan Burkhart,
Nick,
Ninja 11,
Panda Buns,
Pangy,
Palsy Pace,
Pogio Network,
Prime Factor,
Prince Charmless,
Reaver,
Riot 1,
Rob Osborne,
Rocks,
Rianetta,
Sheriff Jackson,
Sheer Cold Vanilla,
Shinru,
Slowbro,
Shinago,
Spicy Munchkin,
Steel Citrone,
Tales of Link,
Tech Magic,
The Shark Among Men,
Thomas Alvarez,
Three Rivers,
Topher Schmofer,
Travis Torline,
Trajawi,
Tugs Puppy Bear,
Tusku,
Tyler Geis,
Bezdes,
Video Game Stupid,
Viridian,
Virtual Bot,
Weed Kingdom,
WG Grizzy,
What Up Khalil,
Wicked Davy,
Will Johnson,
Zudiver,
Zalgoroth,
Zapati.
and Zroid.
Going
Wow.
through this list reminded me we got to meet a lot of people
I was just gonna say.
from our community in addition to the One Up Club, just in general, when we were in LA.
Yes.
A lot of people went to the Game Awards this year.
That's
It's
great.
cool.
Yeah, I loved meeting you guys in person. Thank you so much if you came up and said hi to us. Steel Citrone, you looked very handsome in your fancy jacket.
Oh, wow.
Remember that?
Shouts out.
Shouts.
All right.
Shouts out to your fashion sense. But it's great. We love it. We love it when we get to see you guys in person. So, yes.
Yeah.
All right. If you like what you saw and you want to vote in Game of the Year 2024, join our Patreon community, please. It is patreon.com/KidandKrysta.
If you're watching on video on YouTube, you can go ahead and subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and leave us a comment. And if you are listening on audio, you can also subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and a written review if you please.
And we're on the socials. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Threads. That's it.
We did it.
We did it.
Bodie.
Yeah, Bodie.
Bodie Goaty.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.